Yeah, baby. Wonder if all my bad decisions get accounted in the algorithms. No statistician could dissuade me from my bigger vision. I know my occupation's quite an unlikely place in this world to occupy and talk about upon a daily basis. Our information's predetermined by some biased business. We all in sermon to Silicon that push out lovely neighbors. I'm done with paper chasing, think I'm on to bigger banquets. This that full circle, new wave, energy on a Tuesday. Turn a blue day to a bright hue, yellow with a smooth A in hair. Extra fruit, the brand, you can't move me. The music is man, it's a con job, but this grand. Been blessed with a great hand amongst many that stank. And yeah, it took some hard work, but blind luck play a huge role. And if they say that it don't, when they feeding you fool's gold. And if I know one thing, that the truth's home. Even if it's a tough thing to swallow, an even harder thing to hold and truly know without a doubt while on the globe. And even though that seems inherent, it ain't always so apparent. Dangle carrot, you ain't always gonna get it. But don't worry, it's a pretty February in a year with more to carry, and more days is yet to come under the sun, taking the ferry to the city where the moment's extra pretty, like the people, like the idea that I keep inside my brain that isn't equal to the real world. All that stress ain't saving me fear though. I swear to God I'm trying, but they pushing their demons down my esophagus, screaming the easy life, what I want always. Praise made up holidays, tell me that love is the answer just to boost this economy. Buy more, sell now, but I ain't following. I ain't a hollow man, I'm fuller than fall winds. Take it all with a tall grin, and if you feel it, do it with me. And just sing what the song says. Take it all for what it is. It ain't all so big. So big, so big, so big. Take it all for what it is. What it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. It ain't all so big. It ain't all so big.
Welcome to SB Nation, and I'm your host, SB. How y'all doing?
Dearly beloved,
I am so glad to be here. Y'all know what tonight is. It's Monday night, and this is the night for the dynamic duo. And we're here for it tonight, y'all. So listen, y'all know last time we was with you guys, we talked about relationship court. And tonight, I think we're going to have just a little taste of it to maybe just to get this thing started. Want to hear what you all got to say about it, but we're going to work our way through it. But in just a moment, the other half of the duo, my co-host will be here in just a second because I got to tell y'all what's going on. Let me say this. We was just struggle streaming real crazy today. I don't understand it. Is it like a Monday thing or is it, I don't know, because it could happen on a Wednesday also. It's really... We really don't know when it's going to happen. It's just one of those things that go on. So here we are. We're here. Thank you guys for being here. And like I said, in just a few minutes, we're going to get the show started. But before we do that, I want to say hello to a few people and just to say thank you for being here. But listen, before I do that, let's go to those people over on Instagram. Hey, listen, I appreciate you guys. Listen, if this is your first time being here, make sure you coming into the live, you're giving us a thumbs up. You are over here on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I am SBU. You can find me at Security Boss Unsolicited, SBU, and all those different places. But just make sure you find me. YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Also, we got BMU. He's coming up in just a moment. Make sure you go to Black Man Unfiltered Network and sign and subscribe to his channel also. And we thank you for being here. Those of you who are on TikTok, same thing. Thank you again for being here. If this is your first time, make sure you subscribe to the channel. On YouTube, it's SBU Live or Security Boss Unsolicited. Just make sure you find me, subscribe to the channel. Make sure when you're coming in, you're giving us a thumbs up. We appreciate it so very much. And like tonight's topic is, y'all already know, right? It's how did our marriages and relationships arrive at this place? We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it, y'all, because I'm tired of talking about it. But we got to make sure everybody understands what's going on because we have such conflicting messages. About how we got here, how it was back in the 40s and 50s. Was it good? Was it bad? And then here come the 60s. And then we ain't going to tell what the 70s and the 80s. We ain't going to say 70s because the 70s bought me. But the 80s, gonna talk about what the 80s brought. Y'all know that wasn't nothing but crack. So we ain't gonna really get into that too hard either. But here we are now in 2023, and it still seems like we're losing. So we're gonna, put it all in the proper perspective and share it with you guys. And we want your opinion also on how did we get here? How did our marriages and relationships arrive at this place? But for now, let's bring up Black Men Unfiltered.
What's going on? Can you hear me?
Hello, sir. Yes, I can. I can hear you. I love this black background you got back there. Who is that gorgeous woman or thing on the wall behind you? What is that?
Yeah, that's the artist that painted it.
That is looking like a creature. They wanted to look like that.
Yeah, that's his whole face.
Oh, wow. I hope I'm not seeing it well. I hope it's just my vision. It ain't too good, but I'm telling you, he look like something off of the Avatar. Look just like an avatar, don't he? Color and all. Go ahead on. Look at the eyebrows, would you?
Oh,
I like that though.
What's up?
Everything's good. Yeah, everything's good. Can't complain. Struggle streaming. So you know how it goes.
Look, yeah, we all been there. I know I've been there for the show.
So listen, I haven't said hello to anybody yet. I thought I'd wait till you get here, but I just announced the show topic, and it's how did our marriages and relationships arrive at this place. Of course, we welcome those over at Instagram and on TikTok. So do you have anything you want to say before we kind of jump into saying hello to a few people?
Oh, no. Just ready to get into this conversation. It's just going to be an exciting one. I can't wait. Let's go. Let's make it happen.
Oh, you know what? Mr. Boss just brought to my attention. We are streaming over on Rumble tonight also. So, hey, you guys, listen, if you're on Rumble and you're watching, thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you come on over here to YouTube, and while you're over here, give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'm at SBU Live or Security Boss Unsolicited. And this is BMU. Go definitely to the Black Men Unfiltered Network and make sure you subscribe to the channels. We're going to give y'all a good show tonight. We are the dynamic duo. So just in case you didn't know, you'll realize it by the end of the day. So listen, you gonna know. John the Baptist, what you say, John? Let's see. John the Baptist, thank you so much for your $5 super chat. He says 70s greatest generation created, especially 74. Go ahead, John. Tell them again, John. They don't know. You notice how I just skipped over the 70s. I ain't had nothing bad to say. That was me, and that's you. Then we went to the 80s, and then we end up where we are now. So John, I'm with you.
We're gonna say after 83. Okay. After 83 is when the wall fell. Okay. That's what
Black man.
Today, okay. After 83.
After 83, the wall fell. So you saying 84 to now the wall fell?
It did.
Oh, jeez.
Jericho.
What you saying? The crack was only good from 84 to the 90s? Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna give you that because I do know you, and you're a very smart young man. And I have met some young men and women that, from the 80s, early 80s. You might have something there, Black man. You might be right.
Come on, I told you. Let's go. Let's make it happen.
Could it be that y'all spirit was in the 70s, but y'all just didn't make it here into the 80s? Could it be something like that?
That's exactly what it is. You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, it's a spiritual thing. We probably wouldn't understand it. Yeah, we gotta talk to God about that. Me either. Clement, how you doing tonight? Let's see what you're talking about. Clement has given us and blessed us with a $5 super chat. He says, SB, what up, Auntie and Uncle Boss and cousin BMU? I sent money super chats. We family now, laugh out loud. Cousin BMU, I think you be ignoring my emails, laugh out loud 72. There we go.
I read your emails, Clement. I read them, man. I have to respond to you, but I read them, brother. I got them for you. I got them.
Clement, something about them 70s now. Look at there. Uh-oh, Dre, you got us. Dre, could it be it's a spiritual thing that you might have 70, you real late in the 60s? Could it be? I don't know. Mr. Boss 60, so I got to give you yours too. I got to get mid 60s to all 70s. I got to give y'all props. All right, then. All right. We back in business again. Thank you, Dre, for your $2 super chat. I didn't even get to see what Dre said. John Line, the 60s, especially 67. No, Dre, I can't do it. I can't be. You're a good man and all. I can tell you add so much to the comment section, and I love your comments, but I can't give you that one. It's the 70s are winning. I'm sorry. John the Baptist, what you say? 80s, boy, the craziest and laziest. Black man, has said 84 and up.
He's a liar.
Black man, I don't know though, black man. Think about it.
Bro, they liars.
Black man, think about it though. Come on now. We gotta be accountable for where we are. You know them 84 babies and up wouldn't, right? But they're gonna get all of them gonna get mad at me now. But y'all know that.
Yeah, you right. You got a point.
Y'all know when crack came on the scene.
So yeah.
I said 84 and up. So that ain't you.
Yeah, that ain't me.
That ain't you. All right, so let's say hello to a few people before we get so far away that we don't know where we're going. Let's see. Nightish. I saw Nightish say he a 70 baby too. See, we got gut sense. Black man, I'm spiritually bringing you into the 70s. Is it okay?
That's right. I mean, I just, I'll take that. I'll
take
I'll
that.
go back. Yeah.
I mean, there you go. Dre, we already say hey. Dr. Steele, what's up? How you doing? Lady Nouveau, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Bleak Barbie. Bleak Barbie, you a baby, aren't you? We ain't gonna talk about you, Double, because we need you too. We need them too, black man. We do. But sometimes they be acting out.
Babies, that's where it fell off.
No, but look. Now check this out, black man. We in 2023, so them 2000 babies. Some 2020. Yeah. Come on now. Horrible. 2020. Ooh.
Horrible.
Jesus.
Hey.
They 23 years old now. They driving cars and everything.
Yep, and lazy.
Stop it. I already spoke to John Clement. Hello, sir. I already spoke to John. 70s is the greatest. You got it. Nightish, how are you? Sugar Curl Salon. Hello. How are you? Sugar Curls, let us hear what years or what decade were you born in? Sugar Curls. 70s. I see. I know, Nightish. Keep going. Let's see. CBN, what's going on with you? Wait a minute, Clement. What you said? We already read it? Okay, True Light. Hello. How are you, Clement? Again, $2 super chat. Late 60s. Let me see that one. Late 60s babies is who dropped the ball. Stop cap. I'm not hearing you right now, Clement. You done fell off the cliff. Let's keep going. So anyway, the Do Better podcast. Hello, how are you? Good to see you. Let's see. Black man, I think that could be, Barbie. Black man, we can't talk about them 90 babies anymore. That's why we're here. Mr. Jimmy, how you doing? It's good to see you. We can't talk about them, black man. We got to embrace them. Got to bring them in. They're the reason why we do what we do. She said that was the last of the good old days. Bikes outside, no internet.
Exactly.
I'm telling you.
Look at God.
Whoo, Lord, it was something else.
It was a wonderful time.
It was. We got to play outside and all that good stuff. It's over.
Good old mud pies.
Sugar Curls is an 80s baby. All right.
Come on, Sugar.
There you go.
Hey, you know what, guys? She has some excellent products too.
You know what? I'm trying to. Just in case y'all didn't notice, SB is going natural. So Sugar Curls will have my number, or I will have her number very soon. I am going natural, so y'all go on this journey with me. Y'all might not see my hair for a year or two, but anyway.
You gonna lock it up?
Yes.
Oh, that's gonna be so lovely.
I am locking it up. I am.
Okay, that's what
I guess I should. I started with the faux. I'm gonna end up real, y'all.
Yeah.
I got hair, but I'm about done with it. It don't work out good when you work out. You're getting older. You working out. It don't work out.
I mean, Mr. Boss may like it when
when I throw it back.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. See, now watch the sound effect. Here it comes.
Dearly beloved.
There it is.
He does. Tailored for wealth. I like that. Taylor. Look, Taylor for wealth. I'm 82. But honest, anyone born after 86 is different. It's a different breed.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Is this a thing for real? Rockman, have you started something? Dre, thank you so much for your $2 super chat.
After 83, don't talk to me. You hear me?
Yeah. He said Clement and John are delusional. But what about me? Wait a minute. I'm also one of the ones that says them 70s is the thing. Come on, Dre. Dre, just embrace it. It's okay. It's okay. We love you. So anyway, listen. Black man, we're gonna go around the world a little bit. I hate to, but it's been a lot of things going on here, even as of today. You've been listening. I know you've been busy. I know you had some funerals, things to take care of, some family business to take care of, but listen, of course, we've been hearing about these mass shootings, and I know you heard about the one over there in Jacksonville, Florida.
Yep.
3 killed in a Dollar General store. You heard about that?
Yep. Would have been more if he could have made it into the college. He went to a HBCU first, and the doors were locked.
Oh my God! Tell me more. I didn't know about that. I only tell me what college did he get? Do you know which one?
I don't know. I have to Google it real quick. But today I heard on the news that he went to an HBCU, and they have him on camera with the gun going to the door, and the doors were locked.
Praise
and
the
that's
Lord.
the reason. Imagine if the doors were open, how many lives he could have taken. If the doors
I don't know. They said he wrote letters to his parents and all different people and stuff. So I guess we'll hear more about his intentions and all that pretty soon.
May he rest in shit.
I was going to say, don't you dare say peace. He said he targeted black people and he just hated black folks. He just don't like black folks.
But they say racism don't exist no more.
Who said that?
Oh, a lot of people. They say racism don't exist no more. Ain't nobody out here targeting black people. Okay.
Well, they didn't get in contact with this man. They should have told him not to do it. But they said he wrote letters stating, and when he called him the N-word as he was shooting, didn't he?
The niggas didn't care.
Mm-hmm. How old was he, black man? I didn't get the age of him.
Yeah, I'm getting all the information right now for you.
Trey, I will get it in just a moment. I just couldn't believe that somebody would just go into a Dollar General. How many people at most? I guess if it had to be anywhere, and I guess the Dollar General was the place, because like you said, if he went to a college, it would have been terrible, black man.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Well, let me see what it say here. Hold on, just
21. He was 21 and he hated black people. Oh my gosh. 21. A 21-year-old. Are y'all serious right now?
Mm-hmm.
Dang. That's hard to believe, black man. But I believe him. If he say he hated them and he targeted them, and we see that he killed 3, then guess what? It is what it is. 21 years old, though. Yeah, that is very young. What does he know? How does he know to hate black people? I mean, mama and daddy is up to no good, or somebody. He ain't by himself.
Right.
Wow. Well, not only did that happen today over in my neck of woods, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, there wasn't a mass shooting, but one of the faculty members was actually shot on campus. On campus today around 1:30. They don't know why yet, but they're looking at, it's all being revealed, and they haven't found the weapon. It's crazy, but they did arrest him. But come on, y'all.
Yeah, the college that he went to, the HBCU, is called Edward Waters. Edward Waters is the oldest private college in the state, the oldest HBCU in the United States.
You think that was the reason why he was going there? The oldest?
Oh, absolutely. He wanted to make history. He wanted to go in and kill up a whole bunch of black people, for sure.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's why, security boss, I'm so adamant about following rules, because I carry mine everywhere I go. And when you go into a place and have a sign up, we're being honest people, we're going to say, okay, let me take my gun back to the car. That bad guy's not going to do that. That guy that walked in Dollar General, if they had a sign that said you can't bring your firearm in there, he don't give a damn about that. So how can we defend ourselves when the law, or they have these signs up saying you cannot bring firearms into the store? That's why it's hard for me to go somewhere without mine. Whether a sign up or not, it's hard, because somebody break out shooting and a bullet hit my wife or hit one of my kids. I would never be able to live that down. I would never be no good for nobody. No, nothing else.
You know what, black man, we're going to have to change the way we operate as what's going to have to happen. Because just like what you described a moment ago, you were exactly right. Because often, I told you, when I go walking, Mr. Boss always reminds me to carry my weapon. But sometimes I say I'm not going to carry it, because I know for a fact that I will walk into the bank and I have my weapon on me. I know it. And I know you can't have no weapon in the bank, because I'm not even thinking about it. But as soon as I go to open up my pouch, it's right there. Let the wrong Karen see me. Let Karen be standing at the next booth. I'm going to jail. Oh, she got a weapon. Oh Did she hand you a note? Oh my God. You know, who knows what? So we got to change what we do. Like that, what you just, that scenario you just gave, maybe it's best that you find a place on the outside of the building. I'm not saying sit in a car, but find some place on the outside of the building where you can actually just kind of, you know, do like a surveillance of the environment so you can see what's going on from the outside and you won't be vulnerable in the inside, especially if we can't take our weapons inside. Because here in North Carolina, we can't take our weapons on school campuses. You can't take them to the airport, even if you're driving by. But just think about how many times we done drove through there with our weapons. And you just don't know when something could happen. Just like you have a fender bender or something like that. Who knows? Just anything could.
And think about it. I take my
reveal your weapon.
I take my daughter to the gun range. I bought her a gun. She's in college. She can't take it on campus.
Nope.
Right. But imagine if my daughter's sitting in class and a shooter comes in and starts shooting. My daughter knows center mass. My daughter knows to take him out immediately. But she's unarmed and she'll be one of the people that probably get shot, God forbid. It's not fair. It's not fair to the law-abiding citizens to sit up and get shot by people that don't give a damn about the rules.
Not at all. You're right. It's not. So listen, let me say hello to a few people before we keep going. Mr. Gilbert, hello. T-Shaw, what's up? Sherelle, you was giving it to him the other night. I was trying to chime in to tell you, go girl, but I got sleepy. But I'm glad you was there representing, Sherelle. Keep it up, girl. Keep it up. Sherelle is so smart. I just, you know, she's going to meet a outstanding man one day. 4B free.
She stopped being so masculine.
No, I'm not saying, I ain't gonna say she masculine, but I'm gonna tell you what she is. She can be mean as heck.
Oh, she mean as hell.
She can be that. I'd be like, "Dick, Sherelle." She be giving it to him. I was like, "Oh, they didn't see that one coming." But she
said, "I made that."
Yeah, but listen, she is so smart though. She is actually, and y'all don't know. I've been knowing Sherelle for some years now. I think Sherelle is, Sherelle, we're talking about you. I know you know her, but she's actually coming down. She's actually kind of doing it a little different. Because if you would have met Sherelle about 3 years ago, you would have really, really got it. So she's actually coming down now. She's getting older. So she's kind of seeing it a little different. You know, she's, you know.
Now, she just put a lie in the comments. She just lied in the comments. She said, laugh out loud, I'm being nice all next year and I'm not cursing. She just lied now.
She said next year we got to wait and see. Black man, we can't, you know, just jump in there and say she lying.
And you hear Trey said mean women are worse than masculine women.
Sherelle got a mean streak. We working on it though. You know, so she got to work.
So Trey, do you think you can handle Sherelle? Because so I can hook y'all up today. But
you know something? Why y'all thinking about that? Let me tell you something. You know how it goes. You know how you can be nice and good as pie on this end. You got to be just the same on the mean side too, don't you think?
Yeah.
So that means Sherelle got a heart that's so big that it would probably overwhelm, you know, the average guy.
Wow.
But if he mess up, then she might delete the average guy. No, I'm just kidding. Sherelle, I ain't gonna put that on you, girl. I'm not putting that on you. It was just a joke. But anyway, Sherelle, thank you so much for being here. She was giving it to him the other night, though. I appreciated that. But anyway, black man. So we got to change what we do. We have to. You can't go inside the store with your wife anymore. You're gonna have to be on the outside. Yep. You know, surveillance scene or whatever you call it, the exterior. So when you see the gunman going in, you already got your gun. You ain't in the building. You can already get in your little prone position or whatever you got to do to make sure you take care of the situation, because the situations are happening like crazy now, and we are coming into the season where we are going to be so vulnerable, so shoulder to shoulder, trying to get them sales for what you call it, Black Friday, Christmas. It ain't gonna be nothing but a setup. So y'all be careful. I'm giving y'all the month in advance, 2 months in advance, heads up. Be careful, because if there are people out there that think like this, Black Friday will be the ideal place. Walmart on Black Friday, all of them.
Well, you know what? It's getting really bad, security boss. Let me tell you what happened. I meant to tell you this that Monday that we didn't have the show. I was going to bring it up. I like to give my wife a break every now and then, you know, to let her clear her thoughts. And you know, chill and do whatever she wants to do. So I took all the kids, and we went out, and my wife called me just Rah, rah, rah. I said, babe, whoa, calm down. Whoa, what's wrong? She said, look at your phone. She said, don't worry and don't delete my babies trying to get them home, but look at your phone. Now, we're in a very nice neighborhood. I made sure when we looked for a house, we found one that was suitable enough in a great neighborhood, great schools, no violence, just old little country, little like just beautiful place out here, right? My wife called me and she said, look at your phone. I look at my phone, security boss. It's a bald-headed guy about 6'1", tattoos all over his chest and his head, sweating, running from somebody. That man ran to my front. My door is wood and glass is in the middle of it. That man ran to my door and grabbed the knob and tried to come into my house. Security boss, let me tell you something. I told my wife, if he get in, pop his ass. I said, I'm on my way. If he come, I said, don't open the door. Don't engage him. But you got your gun there. If he come to that door, you know what to do. I've already taught you what to do. The security boss, I was on my way. I took the kids far out too. It was like an hour away. I said, oh Lord, please don't let this man get in the house. And I'm looking on the Ring camera and I see this man trying to get in my house. So we called the police. That's why I want to send you the video. They call the police. The police come rushing out here. And when they call the police took forever to get here. And this is one of my problems here in Dallas. The police takes forever to get here. And when they took forever to get here, they got here 45 minutes an hour. I beat them here. And they said, well, the man, where did he go to? He ran off in a wooded area. And they didn't find him. So now the whole neighborhood's on alert. All the men in the neighborhood are on alert. We out for his ass. And if I find him and next Monday I'm not on the show, you just know I got him.
So nobody knows you got your Ring camera, so you have a picture of him, right?
Oh yeah. The police has everything.
So don't nobody know who this man is? Nobody
knows who he is.
Do you live like far from the city?
Yes, we're on the outskirts of Dallas, so we're out in the by and bys is what we call it in Louisiana. But we out here, where it's quiet, where like, and I'm saying don't come out here with that because we live in a very nice neighborhood, and my neighbor, he wasn't home at the time too, and he's a Hispanic guy, and he was like, neighbor, I'm so sorry, neighbor, if I was here, I would have unalived him for you. So he wasn't at home, right? Because he's very overprotective as well of his wife and kids. So the police took forever to get there. My wife was scared out of her damn mind. And now we're just on alert. Now I'm got to watch my kids, and the kids want to go outside and walk with their friends, and my daughter want to go walk the Talladega down there. We have a Talladega that wraps around the neighborhood where you can walk on the sidewalk. She wants to go walk. I fear for it because they didn't catch this man.
Listen, I'm telling you, Mr. Boss always keep me on high alert. He was like, take your weapon. But listen, though, do you have, we live out in the suburbs too, to the point we don't even have like city buses or anything that come near our home. Do you have buses or something? I'm just trying to figure out how this person got so far out like that. You expect that kind of stuff when you have like public transportation coming near your house or what have you and all that. But if you don't have that, that means somebody actually brought him in there or he drove in there. You can't just walk. I mean, you walking out here, you don't walk the long way. And it sounds like you were describing somewhat like what we live in the country. We didn't have street lights when we moved in. We had to purchase street lights. So how did he, oh my goodness, black man, y'all need to find him. And he didn't have no clothes on. I mean, chest and that. Oh my goodness. But listen, I have some super chats I need to take care of really quick. Let's see. Big Ed, I think I saw you up there. And Clement, thank you so much for your $10 super chat. Y'all know it was the late 60s babies who was at Freaknik dropping it like it was hot, having them crazy and delusional 90s and early 2000 babies. The 70s through 80s are plain lost. What? Through 80s, wait a minute. 70s through 80s are plain lost of belief, and we got lost. What? No, we good. The 70s and 80s babies are perfect. Come on now. You know it. I know you won. So listen, Who is this? Big Ant, thank you so much for your $10 super chat. He says, hey SB BMU, check out Backpack Armor. Check out Backpack Armor for kids. I got my niece and nephew and can handle rifle caliber. Really? Wait a minute. Backpack Armor.
They're very expensive. They do have those for children to guard themselves from
mass shootings.
Yeah, from mass shootings. So if a guy starts to shoot, they can just put their book bag in front of them, and it could take a couple of rounds while the kids are trying to get away. So yeah, that is a great idea they came up with. But they priced them so out of the market. The poor people, they won't be able to afford them. It's gonna have to be somebody that sponsors them to give them to those babies. But the poor kids, the rich kids will get them. And hey,
Ricky, listen, Ricky say, just give the kids a Glock. Hey, Ashton, exactly. Ricky say, just go in there ready. Listen, hey, Lupsy, how are you? Listen, I like that body armor thing. That's cool. But yeah, I bet, you know what? We already know body armor is very heavy. I wonder, Big Ann, is it heavy? I mean, would the kids complain about it, or do they understand what exactly is going on? And how old can you actually, put that on a child? I wonder.
As young as kindergarten. So when we went to the school, we actually watched a video about this armor and these book bags. And I'm telling you, the prices are astronomical. I think that you could get the small one for like $600. The big one, yeah, they're priced out of the market. I mean, it's when the ones that they presented to us, I said, I got 5 kids up here.
So wait a minute, why is it so expensive? Because body armor doesn't even cost. I mean, a vest, what, $500 or $600 for a vest?
Yeah, when he presented it to us, he said $695. We'll get you that. It'll get you a warranty on it. Warranty, I don't know. It'll cover it if it becomes damaged or anything like that. And then they do it through the school. They partner with the school to do it. But a lot of people didn't show up for it, so those people pulled out.
So you can take the plates out and wash the bag. And can you put books in the bag also?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. I bet that's heavy.
Somebody comes in with a handgun or a gun, period. They can just throw their book bags in front of them, protect themselves, and it won't penetrate the bag.
Love C, no, how are you doing though? But no, we're not sending them to school with the vest on. They have now a book bag, which is a body armor book bag that they're sending them to school with. And it seems like it might be a good deal. Mine was $700 with the discount. God,
I told you.
No.
I told you.
Yeah.
And how you gonna? Yeah. And the average single mom got 3 kids. How's she gonna afford $700 times 3?
That's $2,100. I don't know. But listen, Ricky, you saying the same thing. I thought warranty, they're gonna pay the hospital bill. I'm just thinking, what kind of warranty you gonna get? Wait a minute. What could possibly happen? That's one of those things that can't go wrong right there. Body armor can't go wrong.
Yeah, Edward, it's the same company that came to the school, AR 500. Yeah, same company, brother.
Gosh, y'all. Whoo, this is getting to be a terrible time that we got to send our kids. But you know what, though? I mean, somebody's thinking ahead. We got to do something. Right now, they are very vulnerable. I really don't know why. I don't know why it's not on total lockdown. But I guess if you got the right kind of weapon, you can just shoot your way in there, can't you?
Right. And you know what? I'm going to say this, security boss. To all the young men that may be listening right now, I'm going to be rough and ragged with you real quick. Like, y'all some punks. And I want to say this. Back in the day, security boss, the way I learned how to fight before Taekwondo and boxing and all that stuff, my dad and mama put me in. But before I learned how to do any of that, security boss, if I had a problem with somebody, we would go outside the school and we would throw it out. We'll beat the damn hell out of each other. And then in a couple of days, guess what? We back cool again. What's up?
Yeah.
Now these little punk boys going home. Oh my God, he said my feet are too big. My big toe doesn't have a toenail. I'm killing everybody tomorrow. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't understand.
It's real though, Black man. I'm gonna tell you, not at a school not too far from me, they had been bullying the boy for a whole year. He actually brought his gun to school and put it in the bushes. And when he got to the end of the day and decided he just couldn't handle it anymore, he went and got it. And he did delete the young man. He did. He was like,
but why not just, oh my God. I remember the coach used to tell us, oh, y'all got beef? Okay. They'll put us in a room together and they say,
It's
get it out.
different. It's different now, black man, because all this access to us, all this internet, all this cyberbullying, it's really different. I mean, now it's like, I mean, it goes to what you're saying too, though. They're not made up quite like we were, but this is straight up. This could be so humiliating, even in these spaces. You see how certain content creators, I mean, yourself, how they'll talk terrible and say terrible things about you, me, or whatever. They put up fake pictures. You know what I'm saying? They'll drag you. They call it roasting and all of that. Kids can't handle that type of stuff. I mean, when you're an adult, you realize, you just flake it off and you be like, look, show me the results. If you ain't got no results, what you say don't even matter. If you ain't doing better than me in life, then whatever. But kids can't do that. They wear that stuff. You tell a child you got a big nose, they freak out. And they go, they freak out. You got to go get them a whole operation.
Yeah, it's crazy. And that's what I'm saying. Like when people say, oh, tradition don't work because whooping your kids or straightening your kids out physically don't work. Listen, let me tell you something. I got my ass toe up and it made me a tough person. I was raised up in a house full of children. We scored on each other every day. We roasted each other every day. We were prepared for the world. If anybody say something to me, my clapback game was absolutely marvelous. And I didn't go home and say, I'm going to get daddy 38. I'm going to show them in the morning. No. If they want to fight, we fought. And then we right back. It's some guys right now that I fought, and we really, really good friends. They was just at my uncle's funeral to pay respects to my uncle when he passed away. And we dap it up and, but it's like security boss, these boys are horrible. These young men today are horrible. And men, please, if you got the money, please raise the money. Find your church to help you. But men need to get their sons. Go get custody of your sons. Go get them boys. Because if that woman raise them, they're going to be feminine. They're not going to be able to take any pressure. And now we always say, I heard this saying, and I'm going to land my plane here. I heard pressure is for shoulders, not for hips. Well, hell, if the women keep raising them, the little boys feel like they got hips. Go get your sons. Go get custody of your boys. Find out what your laws are in your state about custody. And go get your boys so they won't be feminine. We got to have somebody to protect our wives and their grandmothers and their siblings when we're no longer here.
There absolutely needs to be a balance. You're right. And right now, a lot of times they're not, it's not one. So you're right about that. But so black men, listen, we're going to get into this because how did our marriages and relationships arrive at this point? And when we say this point, we're talking about today. There are some people, and we got some videos to go along with what we're talking about today, a couple, but you actually spent a weekend with some people that can share some history about some things. And I have a couple of videos. I have one video to share with that too. But before we go, we're going to actually talk about those people that on that thumbnail, Mr. Harvey and his woman. Oh, excuse me.
Oh my God.
His wife. But first, I want to know, how did our marriages and relationships arrive at this point? I think what I want to do is I want to play this video first, and then I want you to dive right in and tell us what you think.
Absolutely.
Not that one. It's the next one. That one.
A living for the women without the husband or without the man easy.
Oh?
Yeah, welfare. I think welfare is not the best thing for everybody.
Tell me why.
Because it provides you with some kind of income that you sooner or later just settle for. I know I was on welfare. I've been on welfare.
Are you suggesting that we do away with welfare?
No, I'm saying it has to be upgraded. For instance, I have some young people here that are on welfare, okay, but would like to work. But they can't work and make a coin because everything you make is taken away from your check.
Can you push the solution even further back? Is there any way to stop the cycle of teenage pregnancies?
That's so difficult to even talk about.
Are you able to hear that, black man? Is that the end of it, Mr. Boss? So, black man.
Yes. Yes.
Go ahead and ask your question. You was going to ask the question. What were you going to say?
No, I'm just a little thrown off. Just so you just go first. I'm a little thrown off by this video.
I want to hear it again because it's not at the beginning, but I wanted you to just get the gist. Okay, so go ahead.
And society has made living for the women without the husband or without the male easy.
Oh?
Yeah, welfare. I think welfare is not the best thing for everybody.
Tell me why.
Because it provides you with some kind of income that you sooner or later just settle for. I know I was on welfare. I've been on welfare.
Are you suggesting that we do away with welfare?
No, I'm saying it has to be upgraded. For instance, I have some young people here that are on welfare, okay, but would like to work. But they can't work and make a coin because everything you make is taken away from your check.
Can you push the solution even further back? Is there any way to stop the cycle of teenage pregnancies?
That's so difficult to even talk about.
So she goes on. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say she. Go ahead, because I'm gonna go. But go ahead.
For some reason, we're missing the most important part because he's going to ask her to push the solution farther back, and he's going to ask her about what can we do about single motherhood? You know, what can we do about it? And she goes on to say, y'all gonna get mad at me. I felt her. And she said, y'all gonna get mad at me. And he was like, why would we get mad at you? She said, because that's a moral thing. She says, we have fallen so far away from God that we have no idea how not to have kids as single mothers. So
Wow.
It got cut off, but I wish we could have had it for you. But either way, we're going to move on. But Black man, tell me what you think about this, because understand, how do we get here? There was a time when the nuclear family was working, I think in the 50s, 60s, 50s, is about 80% of people, nuclear family, Black, they were together, they was loving, they was planting them gardens, they was working, they was doing what they had to do. The men were in the homes. And then all of a sudden, around 60s, mid 60s and up, here comes the welfare system, and what happened from there. Black men, let us know what happened.
Well, I think that there was for the we'll say quotations here, the powers that be. But there was a situation where at a time that, remember I told you yesterday when we talked on the phone about how my aunts and my grandmothers, who just sat there so eloquently, 60-year married, been in the world for 80 plus years, where they talked about this, and they say the things that we talk about now as young people is a myth. It's simply a myth. What this woman is saying is, it brings up nostalgia for me. That video looked like it was shot in the 80s.
Probably was.
Oh yeah.
86 exactly.
Exactly. I could tell by the footage. And so this woman is speaking about this in the 80s, like, a lot of us don't want this. But now the pot getting so sweet, we can't reject this. My husband.
So what does that mean, though? Tell us what that means when someone says that. It's pot is getting so sweet, we can't reject it. So it's a what?
It's an agenda.
It's a choice.
That too.
There you go. It's a choice, because this woman said, I once too was on welfare.
Exactly.
So
Security boss, how hard is it as a woman? I mean, you talked about this yesterday on the phone. How hard is it to be with a man that you love, and this man is out working and making $100 a week, $80 a week, and the government comes along and say, you know what? I'm tired of seeing this man and his wife walking to the general store every Sunday with their daughters getting ice cream. No. I'm tired of seeing them go to church together, dressed all nice in their little suits and their dresses. I'm tired of seeing them struggle, and the women still accept them through their struggle. Right? Men didn't have nothing, and those women were right there. And what happened is this. It's simple. I got something. How about we come up with a plan for the women? We're going to go into the Black neighborhoods, and we're going to call it welfare. And we're going to tell these women, your husband make $100 a week. You don't have to deal with him no more. We're going to give you housing. We're going to give you food stamps. What is food stamps? Food stamps is a particular type of money that never comes out of your pocket, right? We're going to provide you with money for the children. We're going to call it child support. And you're going to be able to get money from the father. You're going to be able to get housing, so you won't pay much on housing. And you'll also be able to get food stamps to make sure the kids' bellies are full. Now, you have a choice. You want to stay with Uncle Ronnie over there that's making $80 to $100 a week? Or you want us to send you $200-$300 per kid? Or you want us to send you $600 worth of food stamps where you can buy $600 worth of grocery and not ever have to worry about food anymore? It's your choice. However, there's only one caveat to this. That man that's in your house, Ronnie cannot be in that household, because when Ronnie's in the household and there's an income there, we're not able to facilitate you because we're solely saying that you can rely on his income. Do we have a deal?
Of course you have a deal, but let's go one better, because, you know, we're here now and what we see now is what we see, and it's kind of hard to relate back to something that happened way before us, right? It's very hard, but let's just be real with it. I had a video and I could not find it, but I had a video where a woman is speaking, and her husband have 10 kids and he's making $4 a day. And she's being interviewed and they're asking her about her welfare and about her food stamps. And this woman says, I can't afford to buy the food stamps. Now, I was jumping up and down because I'm trying to figure out, okay, wait a minute. Did she say she can't afford to buy food stamps? What is she talking about? I haven't figured out yet what she meant by that. But she says, I can't afford to buy the food stamps. He's making $4 a day. We got 10 kids, because one thing that y'all haven't considered is way back then, we used to have a lot of babies. Yep. It wouldn't, you know, this little one thing that we do, like, black man, you got 6, but I'm just saying, people had 10 kids. People had 10 kids and it was nothing. My mom, them 10 kids, my dad, them, I don't know how many kids. So people had a lot of children. So for a man to make $4 a day and have 10 kids and living in a shack somewhere, his wife can't work because you got 10 kids. And in order for them to get ahead, I'm almost sure that he told her, I'm going to sneak around. I can't be here during the day. I'm going to work. And when I know that they're coming, I'm going to leave the house. But I need for you to get on these food stamps. I need for you to be able to get these benefits to take care of these 10 kids.
Yeah, I'm not leaving. I'm hiding.
I'm hiding. I can't be here, because if they find out I'm here, they're going to take it. If there is even an essence of a man in this house, I'm taking it away from you. Now, I don't know why that woman said that she didn't have enough money to buy food stamps. I really don't know, but she said.
Let me address this, because Easy Money Jones, if we drop the link later, I know we probably gonna do a show tonight, just you and I. But let me address Easy Money. Easy Money says my relatives were married and got food stamps and welfare. That's why this theory doesn't make sense to me. Let me tell you why it don't make sense to you, Easy Money Jones, because you went deep into it like I was. See, I'm a hood boy. I grew up in the country. My mama moved to the hood, right? Let me tell you how women used to get food stamps back in the day. They would lie. All right? My mother and father were married. When my daddy had he drove 18 wheelers cross country, he had a horrible wreck that put him out of driving for about damn near 3 years. And my mama had to do what she had to do. And my mom went down there and they asked her, is there a man living in your house? My mama said no. Okay.
But guess what, black man? The reason why Easy can't see it is because he's not thinking far enough back. Right. There were whole movies made about how the men could not be in the house. Claudine or Claudette was one of them. There was several movies made where the woman had to be in the house without a man. And not only that, they couldn't have toasters. They couldn't have anything that represented easy living. And right. And it was just the truth. So far as men, now listen, it's different now. Men can be in the home now and a woman receive some type of benefit. It all depends on how much income they actually make. But there was a time, and I'm assuming it was around 64, 65, where a woman could not have a man's income or any income. The lady just told you, and this was in 86.
86?
Well, she didn't say particularly a man. She said any income, it would be deducted from what the assistance was. So if you can lay up and get the same amount of money that you can get for free, why would you go out and work and get it? So this is the same thing. She said
Again.
any income coming in the house,
Right.
any income coming in the house, they're going to deduct what they're giving you. So guess what that's going to do? It's going to make you lazy. It's going to tear up your motivation, because if you go out and make $10 an hour, they're going to take away $10 an hour for whatever that looks like. They're not going to allow you to have both. But the reality of it is you still operating below that poverty line. So you need it all in order to get to another place. But they're saying, no, you can't have it. That's how they get stuck in this environment. But easy, there was a time when men could not be in the home. There definitely was.
And guess what? He said, oh, that only happened for a few years. Guess what? Security boss. All it takes is a person to say something and it happens for a few years. What happens is that mindset travels. And what happens is, even to this day, there are women that say to this day, girl, I ain't telling no white folks, my husband stay with me. They're going to take my food stamps. It's women in 2023 that are still have that same mindset, is they're going to take my food stamps if they know you here.
Well, how about this? Not take your food stamps, but guess what? I'm calling myself SB, but that ain't what they call me. They come in for a job interview. They really want to work. They need a job. I can't work over 25 hours a week.
Yep.
What's wrong with you? If I work over 25 hours a week, they're gonna mess with my check. But ain't nothing wrong with you. What you mean? Can't you make more than on your check? But why would I do that? If I can get 25 from you and can get my check, I'm looking good. I don't need no more than 25. Young women.
Yep, my raise is I'm making $10 an hour, and that's what the food stamp said. People say your ass about to stay at 10, and they come in the office and say, you know what, you've done a great job, SB. We're gonna get you to a shift leader. You're gonna be making $15 an hour. No, wait. No, I can stay at 10.
Absolutely. But Blackman, what is the name they call it? If I could think of the name of it easy, I would let you know. What they call the father, not imaginary, but what do they call them? Not missing. When they say that's what they call the dads that were in the home, but they were never there.
Absentee?
It wasn't absentee. It's not imaginary, but there is a name for what they call the dads and fathers or what have you, or men, period, back in that time. And what those men did, they come by, but when they knew that the woman, they stayed and spent the night whenever. And then when they knew or expected that those, what they call them, the real pushy caseworkers were coming, they actually, got out the house and went on by their business. There's a whole word for that type of father. I can't think. It's not imaginary, but there's a name for it. And if I could think of the name, no, it's not the proper name that we're using now, non-custodial parent. No, it's like it's imaginary father or missing father or something like that. It's a name for it. And if I think of it, I'm gonna let you know what it is.
And even now, security boss, even now in the state of Texas, I'm aware of all of this. In the state of Texas, and in every other state, I think, even now, when your woman go to get food stamps, she can be cool with the baby daddy. They're not together, or she could be married to him and telling them they're not together. But guess what they're doing now to get them?
What?
Oh, Miss SB, I see that you're working here at Best Buy. All right, okay. We see that you're employed. That's good. We're going to approve you for $600 a month in food stamps because we want to give you $200 per child. So we're going to give you $600 a month. Is the father in their life? That's an open-ended question. Because if the father in their life, what's his income? Oh, yeah, you don't qualify for stamps. I'm sorry. Or the father's not in their life. Oh, okay, great. Bring me that clipboard over there. Okay, do you know a social security number? Because once we start the food stamp process, you can't get food stamps if we're not allowed to put the father on child support. We have to be able to know where his employer is and to know where he is and his social security number, so we can immediately put him on temporary child support until you go to court.
So what actually happens is they'll give the mother the benefits from the state or county or however it's done, and then they go after the father for the child support.
Exactly. Even if she's married to him and he just, hiding and not living, or even if they're not together and they cool, he's taking care of his kid, ain't no problems. The state gonna say, oh, no. If he ain't dead, we need his social security number. So even if say for instance, security boss, you and Mr. Boss were young, 23, 24, y'all had a baby, y'all married, and Mr. Boss, God forbid, went out, had an accident like my dad did, and it tore his back up. He couldn't work for damn near 3 years. he's in rehab. He got to figure out how to get insurance and all this other stuff. And then they telling you, well, you got to stick him for child support. And if he's not working, oh, don't you worry. We'll put him in the arrears. So your husband going to be in the arrears and he right there beside you every night.
So then we still asking the question. So how did marriages and relationships get here? So either way, this is how it went, y'all. This woman here, she just laid out for you how it wasn't beneficial for a woman to be married because she could receive these benefits. And even, let's just say, don't forget the husband. She couldn't even go out and get a degree or do anything to better herself because she would lose every time or every opportunity she had, she would lose it because she would give up her benefits to do that. Right. And I guess some of them decided, you know what, I can't take that chance. I just don't want to take that chance and do that. So that's how we got here. This is how the marriage rates went from 80% to 50% of where they are now. I don't know how many black couples. What is it now for black people? I know marriage is 50-50, but what is it? What is the rate for married people now for black marriage?
Divorce?
So marriage, shut up. Marriage rate. If the marriage percentage was 80% back in the 60s, what is it now? I'm saying before 40. This happened, 40%. Okay, well, people are still getting married then.
Yeah, the people are still getting married, just not as a whole. And we're going to get into what my grandmother and my aunts told me, guys. It was such an exciting conversation. But yeah, again, I say that because a lot of people are ignorant to this information. The government says, we don't want you to be together. And if he's there, you rely on his income. But he hurt, he can't work. So it will put him in the arrears, and when he start back working, we'll start taking. That's what they're doing now. Back in the day, they didn't do that, but they're doing that now. Oh yeah, we need that Social Security number. What is it? Well, me and him, cool. He paid for his child. Oh no, ma'am, no. In order for us to give you these stamps, it has to be court-ordered child support in order for the state to balance these things out. And we're going to put him on temporary child support. We're going to set you a court date for child support. You don't have to come. If you have to work, the state will represent you. We'll send a representative from the state to represent you, but he has to be there. And if he doesn't be there, don't you worry, honey. We'll go ahead and just give him any amount of money of child support we want to give him. That's what's happening today.
That's exactly what's happening today. So listen, go ahead and share with us what your grandmother and your aunts and uncle actually, or whoever it was, shared with you, because I don't think we understand. For some reason, I think maybe some of us are just too young to understand or to know that welfare played a huge factor in our family, in the nuclear family, in the Black community, a huge factor. Whether we want to believe it or not, some men were not there, but some men wanted to be there, but it was best they could not be there, because who can take care of 10 kids making $4 a day? Even when things were super cheap or inexpensive back then, they still cost. And how far can we go on $4? So it would be, a man would tell his wife, hey, listen, I'm gonna sneak in and out, but make sure, and I'm gonna sleep wherever. He's sleeping wherever, but you make sure you get this food and, this shelter for these kids, because the kids, that's what we live for, the next generation. So he would want to take care of his kids. Now, there were some that just didn't even want to be there. That's true. There was some that said, hey, she chose, it was another video I saw, the young man said, hey, she chose to have the kids. I didn't have any money. They're still together. So now he's sneaking around. She's got the 3 kids, and the interviewer said, don't you get mad sometimes? She said, I get very mad, but I just don't think he understands. He's telling her, I don't have the ability to make enough money. And this is later years now. This is not back in the 60s. I don't have the ability to make the money. And she's seeing it as, you're not even trying to make the money. But he was still there in the child's life. So he was helping in some way. But there are times when the men are not there. We're not trying to say that. But there's often, and more than none, that the fathers could not be in the house or shouldn't have been in the house because of the fact that they were getting benefits, and food stamps, shelter, and all that was more important than, I suppose, the husband being in the home at that time, because he didn't have the ability to make but $4 a day. That's all they was going to be paying the Black man, or he wasn't going to make nothing.
Exactly. And that's why I'm so thankful and so glad that I had that opportunity, guys. So my uncle passed away last week. We had the funeral this past Saturday. Friday, when I got in, I wanted to, I spoke with my grandmother, but after the at the repast, we had an opportunity to sit down at the table. And let me give you the starting lineup. My grandmother, who is 91 years old, is sitting here, was married for 63 years. Her husband passed away. Shout out to my grandfather, Robert. Her sister, Dorothy, was sitting next to her. Her and her husband is married for 63 years, 62 years, I think. She's in a wheelchair now. Her husband is not. He's on a cane. Beside her, we call her Aunt Vilene. Her name is Vilene. She was sitting next to her. Vilene is probably 79, 78 years old, maybe. I have my cousin on this side. She's 39, but she thinks like a 60-year-old. Jesus Christ. She is just so... somebody snatched her up real quick, because that, when I tell you a responsible woman, you never meet nothing like it. And we're all sitting at the table, and my aunt Anna, I'm sorry, Anna's sitting on this side toward me, right? And Anna's what, 65, 66? She was sitting over here with her husband, and we were all sitting there having a conversation. And the 39-year-old said, "Hey, my kids," because I'm not on social media, but my kids show me your show all the time. "Oh, okay, appreciate it." She said. And my grandmother said, "That stuff y'all be talking about, baby." She said, "When did it get to a point that y'all start lying on us?" And I said, whoa. I said, "Grandma, what you talking about, baby?" I said, "You know I wouldn't lie on you, sugar." She said, she laughed, whatever. She said, no, the people that y'all be talking to, they just be lying on us. I said, "How did they lie on you, Grandma?" She said, "I heard one of them boys or one of them young ladies on your show say that we was forced to be married, and we had to be married, and we had to be in marriages, and we had nowhere else to do, nowhere else to go." She said, "Where'd that come from?" I said, "Ma'am, this is what they feel." And she said, "Well, how can they feel like that when they ain't experience it?" I said, "Well, that's something they came up with." Right?
So
They liars, bro. They liars.
Exactly. She said, "Well, baby, we need to set the record straight with you right now. You go back and tell them what I said." I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "I was never forced to be with your grandfather." She said, "Your grandfather saw me. I saw your grandfather. Your grandfather loved me, and I loved your grandfather." She said, "We got married very young." She said, "When I married your grandfather, I was already a wife." She said, "Because my mother had raised me to be a wife." She said, "At 14 years old, 15 years old, when I got married," she said, "I knew how to churn butter, cook a full course meal, milk a cow. I knew how to go up and down the fields and pick the tomatoes and cut down the sugar cane." She said, "I knew how to break a fever with home remedies. I knew how to take care of kids," because she was the oldest of 22 children, ladies and gentlemen.
22 kids.
22. And she sat there and she took care of them. And her sisters were sitting around the table saying, "Yeah, you're right. You're right. You tell him. You better tell him." And
So
at that table, none of those women said they were forced to be married. I said, "Well, what about, did your husbands beat your asses?" I didn't cuss because, they slapped me.
yeah.
"But did your husband put your hands on you?" Why would they do that? She said, "Let me tell you how we work, baby." She said, "It was a factory." I said, "Well, a factory?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "When a man got out of line in the community, where he was a relative or not," she said, "the men got together, they went hunting, they had a little barbecue, they went to go slaughter a hog or something, and they talked to that man to see what that man's head was. And she said that man would come back home a different man." And she said, "Not only did we do that," she said, "we didn't want that man to go back and be different for a day." She said, "We would go and sup with them and pray with them, go to their house and get their kids, spend time with their family, praying with them, playing baseball in the yard." She said, "We were making a comfortable environment for them to rebuild their marriage and to talk through things and all that." She said, "We did it for each other." She said, "If we had a hog, everybody in the community had one." She said, if that person over there had fruit and ours hadn't harvested yet, those fruit belonged to everybody in the community." She said, "We weren't forced to do anything. We loved each other." She said, "This was love." She said, "That's why back then, baby, we had unconditional love." She said, "The love y'all got today is conditional on everything. Eric, you got to do this to get love. You got to do this for somebody to love you. You got to say this." She said, "It wasn't like that." She said, "Your grandfather had some really bad times, so I could have walked away from him." She said, "But baby, we were stronger because of what we went through." And she said something that blew my mind. I'm trying to, because she said it so catchy. She said, "Our problems kept us together but our good times solidified us.
Hmm.
And I said, Grandmama, you preaching today. I want to shout right now. She said, boy, shut up and listen.
Like,
because and she said, I'm being for real. She said, because you got to go back and tell them this, because this ain't how it was. She said, what they saying, they making it up. She said, who did these young people talk to get this information? I said,
I think the timing is off, Black man. Again, I think you're speaking to people who were married, who were born in like the 40s, or even when was your grandmother born? Do you remember? Do you know?
Well, yeah, oh Lord, she's 91. So 91 years from today was, oh Lord,
1991. So she was born in 30 something, right?
33 maybe.
Yeah. So listen, and my parents was born in 40 and 41. So, and then prior to them, that's when, you know, Black people were a unit, a nuclear family. My granddad used to be out there plowing in the garden, making food and stuff. You know, he was the man. He was the man. Everybody listened to him.
Made. It wasn't about his money.
No, but I must say, I've never experienced the welfare. I was fortunate. We never had to do that. My dad and mom I've always come from a nuclear family, and everybody around me is married, and everybody has been married. I should say it that way. My sisters, one of them husband passed away. The other one, they did get a divorce, but everybody has been married before. I don't have a large family, but even in my mother's family, all of them were married, and, you know, husbands passed away. So I've seen nothing but marriage around me. Now, I got to tell you this. I never felt like it was somebody made you do it, but I can tell you this. You didn't live no sexually liberated life and have kids outside of wedlock, and your father let you do that. No, if that happened, you had a child outside of wedlock. Yes, indeed, you disappear. But when you came back, you tried something different. You was gonna get married to that next one. It wasn't going to continue. It was not going to be a continuous cycle. You were going to learn from what you did. So in that aspect, I can say, okay, yeah, they were made to be married. It all depends on what you were actually doing. But I think for the most part, I'm from the South, y'all. For the most part, for us, and you are too, your parents are too, aren't you? Black man. Mm-hmm. So I think for the most part, for us, it was just something that you evolve into. As a young woman, I was going to be a wife. It was not that I was going to be made to be a wife. I was going to be a wife, and whatever I wanted to do in between and besides that, I could do. It didn't matter, but I was going to be with my husband, whoever he was. That was just how we were taught.
Right. You know, my grandmother said, and she said these words, she repeated it because she wanted to make sure. Right. She said, when it comes to children and it comes to having babies and it comes to having a marriage and having life, she said, baby, at 14 years old, I can do more than the average 30-year-old woman today. She said, yeah, they got their nice clothes on. Yeah, they go to these big old buildings and make all this money. She said, but if all that left today, none of them would survive. She said, some of these women out here don't know how to boil water. They don't know how to survive. They don't know. She said, they don't have the values of life. She said, everything it took to raise a family and to love her husband and nurture her husband, she was taught at a very young age by watching her mama and daddy because they were married. And so it was
always principles. You know, there was always going to be principles that came along with evolving into being an adult, you know, getting married, having children. It just was something that you did. What else were you going to do? You going to run around a single man or a single woman and just work? No, it was just something. And I don't know if it was always you have to do this. Somebody made you do it. I don't really know where that came from, but I do know at some point in time there is this theory out there, and I know that you have evil people, y'all. So understand this: you got good and bad people on every side and everywhere. So if a man is taking advantage of a woman, beating a woman, whatever it is a wrong situation. So I think what we're saying is here comes this feminist movement. And I think we kind of grabbed at it. It maybe didn't apply to us, but we grabbed at it anyway, because the women, Caucasian women, maybe in their marriages, they were being dominated or whatever the situation may be. And we made it our struggle also. And then the women kind of lost the idea of the nuclear family. But I don't ever think that it was a forced thing. And I actually happen to think right now to this day that women want and love men. And I don't really think it matters what the men do. I think if men chilled out, just be men, do their thing, I think the woman will be there. I absolutely do.
Well, I'm gonna get to what she said about that, because the second thing she addressed, the whole table did, was 50-50. She said, baby, she said, y'all a bunch of damn fools. She said 50-50. She said, what that mean, baby? I said, well, grandma, 50-50 is when a man work, a woman work, and she got her money, he got. She said, Lord, she said, what's wrong? I said, but I don't know. She said, well, when it comes to 50-50, she said, that shouldn't even be brought up. She said, when your grandfather went out to work and he made money on odd end jobs, he brought that money home. When I went out and pressed hair and sold a dozen of eggs for 50 cents a dozen and did pressed hair for 25 cents a head, I brought that money in. She said, I ain't go over there and put 4 quarters over there and say, okay, this is what you made today. And this what she said, everything. She said, it's amazing that God said we come together in flesh, but we can't come together in finances. She said,
but
baby,
remember what we said though. This woman right here in that video we just saw, she said there's no longer principles, no morals and things of that nature. So we've gotten away from God. So the principles that came with that, they're no longer practicing that. So we can't even talk to them about that, because that's how things actually work. You know, that's successful, that's smooth living, that's clean living. That's not what they after. They want 50-50, whatever that looks like, which It doesn't. Listen, it looks like to me, black men, I mean, y'all can say whatever you want, but it seems like to me women are not winning. It doesn't. I mean, I feel like they're taking on a way too much. You know, I don't know what kind of results they have, but it seems like they're taking on way too much, and they don't have to, because the end result is they still want men, and they still will give themselves to men, and they're not getting any benefit out of it. So I'm thinking, what are you doing? You know, if you're not going to get married, if this man doesn't adore you enough to ask you to be his wife, then what are you doing? Or if you're saying, you know, you owning something and you like, I don't want to be married. Okay, then what are you doing? You continuously giving away all your value. For what?
Right. And to tag on to that, she said about the 50-50, she said that was stupid. She said, because when my grandfather and my aunt said, oh, absolutely. She said, baby, when we brought that money home, she said, well, nobody counting no money, separating no money. She said, all that money went in one thing together. And we didn't spend no money saying, well, I just spent the $200 I made. Now I'm going to spend your money. She said, when that money came in, they both had the mindset of this belongs to us. This is ours. This is what we went out and worked hard to support our family. Right?
Wow. Yeah.
And it's amazing. I and like Tracy, I should have pulled the camera out. But at the time we were at the repast, so they were still, you know, just talking after that, you know, that pain they went through, because they took it hard. And so I didn't want to just be like, you know, camera in their face.
I know.
But I wish I could have. She talked about that. She talked about the 50-50. She said that was crazy. She also talked about, she said, what about this traditional woman? She said, I heard a young lady on your panel. She said, this is how she said, I'm gonna repeat what she said. Shout out to grandmother. She said, that girl on your show was a blang dang fool. I said, why grandmama, that girl that was on there, that crazy, just crazy? I said, what happened? What part? And my auntie said, well, I'm talking about the one when they said traditional women don't work. She said, baby, let me tell you something. She said, and we knew back in the day that it took 2 of us to support all of us. She said, ain't none of us stayed at home. She said, even if I didn't have a job to clock in at, she said, I was out there in that field getting them peas, getting them tomatoes, cutting down that sugar cane, suckling that corn. She said, man, I was out there planting stuff, putting down more seeds, getting the blackberries off the fence line, hanging up clothes outside on the line. Wasn't a washer and dryer. She said, I washed them with a washboard between my legs, and I hung them up on the line. She said, baby, we were working. She said, everything we did benefited our family and our husbands. She said, what are these women talking about today? What are they talking about? I said, grandmother, it would be good if you came on the show and confronted them. She said, no, because you a fool, and one of them gets smart with me, then you going to act a fool. I said, well, you're absolutely correct. So I'd rather you not. Even she said, I wouldn't do it no way, but I'm too old for that.
So listen, wait a minute. Ricky says so Marilyn Monroe couldn't have a bank account, a checking account. I'm sorry, Marilyn Monroe. Who was Marilyn Monroe married to? What president was it? Did she
she wasn't
actually
married to
marry
no
him?
president.
She
She was
didn't
having
marry
an
him,
affair.
right?
She was having an
She was
affair
the
with him.
side chick. The side chick got her own account, her own banking account. She was never married, right? Did she ever actually marry somebody though? Did Marilyn Monroe? Did she ever actually marry someone?
She had somebody. I think it was a baseball player or something at the end of her life.
She died in what, 1950?
Yeah, she did. Yeah, over where she got deleted by the president. But we'll tell that's another story. Ricky, I'm gonna say Ricky said, or Diane Carroll. Diane Carroll just did a documentary. I implore all of you to go watch it. Before she passed away, she said the biggest mistake that she made in life as a young woman is not to marry and have children. She said that one of the biggest mistakes in life. She had all the money, she had all the fame, she had sold out shows, and at the end of her life, she said, "I'm going to die, and the only people that are going to be by my side is the doctor and the nurse."
So I got a question. So I think what we're addressing, and y'all can help me out, comment section and Black Man too. We're I'm gonna call them the average Black family. The average Black family didn't have a lot of money. So why do we need to separate it? All the money that we had needed to go to making sure those children had what they need. The light stayed on, the food was there, rent was paid or mortgage was paid or what have you. And I'm talking about in the 60s, the 70s, 80s. This is what I'm speaking on. So I think back then it was no need to separate, and it was just an understanding. Marriage was a duty. You had a duty to make sure you raised these children, and you had a wife. Your wife, you offered her provision. That's what she's required to have. That was just the duty of the man, and the wife had a duty to help raise the children and help the husband. There was I don't know about that staying at home stuff. My mama had 2 jobs, not heavyweight jobs, but 2 jobs. It was like she worked in the school system and she also cleaned houses, but she didn't, that was her choice to do, but she worked. We always worked. Everybody worked and everybody contributed, but it was never you get 50-50. It was never any of that. I don't know how a woman can benefit from that, actually.
Exactly. And that's why after that, she went into the women who being independent. She said, you somehow along the way, the young people took it and flipped it and turned it into something negative. And this is what me and you were talking about on the phone yesterday. She said women who were taught by their mamas to be independent back in the day was not what they taught to be independent about today. She said they taught those women to be independent back in the day because sometimes their husbands wouldn't come home. She said sometimes their husband would be buried off in the field somewhere. White boys then took them and hung them up in the tree. White boys and shot them, left them on the side of the road. Hung them up in trees.
Marilyn had 3 wives, Black Man. I didn't know she actually married the people.
Yeah, she
3 husbands. I'm sorry.
She was a huge whore.
Black Man.
Yeah, she was. But yeah, and she said even a time where the men went hunting and saw the uncle swinging in the tree. She said we taught those women to run those households because they never knew if their husbands were ever going to make it back home. And if the husband didn't make it back home, you already had the tools to raise those babies, to make sure you churn butter, milk the cow, plow the field, pick the bear. Like you knew how to do everything he knew how to do. You activated it only because he didn't come home. If something happened to him. But my grandmother said, where y'all got it wrong at is that when that woman, she was taught that, but when it came to being under the umbrella of her husband's covering, she stayed in her femininity. She never talked at her husband stupid. She never said anything to him and talked to him like he was nothing. She only was taught to be independent in case he never came back home and something were to happen to him. Because back in those days, 50s, think about it. The 40s, 50s, you walking in the South. I'm from Louisiana, guys. You walking in the South on the way home and a truck full of white boys pass you on the road. Oh, they're going to have some fun with you. They're going to hit you in the head with a hammer, shoot you in your back, hang up in a tree, cut you. Whatever they feel necessary to do because they could do that. So they were scared for that. So they were taught to do that to take care of their families in case the husband didn't make it home. Last thing, and I'm done. She said she knew the secret to why women don't want to be married no more. Lord, I said, oh, I want to hear this.
I'm ready for that.
She said, growing up, My cousin came in, a 39-year-old. She said, growing up, I had a daddy. My daddy told me, you can't wear that. That's too provocative. You can't show your breasts. You can't show your butt. That's too tight. You can't go to that party down there because they fight too much. Something happened to you. I'll lose my mind. That's too bad of an area for you to be in. She said, a daddy gave direction. He gave protection. And he gave orders to say, hey, this is what you can and cannot do. Because he could see things that she couldn't see. She said the reason that women don't want to do that, don't want to be married today, is because they don't want that kind of accountability from their husbands. They don't want their husbands to tell them nothing.
Yeah, discipline, structure, principle. They don't want any of that.
Yeah, structure. Like right now, and I said, well, y'all right? You know what, Grandma? Right now, if you go tell a woman in 2023, your breast out, you're not wearing that. See, you controlling. I said, Grandma, they go to controlling now. She said, baby, it is a man's job to protect his wife, even sometimes from herself. Let me say it again. She said, it is a man's responsibility and job to protect his wife, even sometimes protecting her from herself. So when a man tells a woman, yeah, doc. When a man tells a woman, that's, hey, baby, I know you may not have seen it when you bought the dress, but baby, that's too much. I think you need to go pipe that down some and take that dress back. Baby, bring that check over here because we're going to have one pot. Everything is going in one pot, and we're going to sit down and do these bills and make sure our house is taken care of. Baby, I'll need you to do this and that. She said today women are saying, no, you can't tell me what to do. I don't need you. And she also said this, and it made me shout. She said the reason that they're going to the sperm bank again, she said, I heard that old crazy good with that wig on. She's talking about Ebony K. Williams. She said, when that girl told me, go get some sperm then. She said, yeah, go get the sperm. She said the reason that they don't want to be married is, and the reason that they want to have kids without y'all, use your sperm but not have you in their life, because they want to raise their sons to be the men that they picture and not the men that God made them to be.
Dearly beloved,
I rest my case right there. That's a word right there. That'll preach. Because think about it. If a woman is single like Ebony K. Williams, what did she say on her show? Men ain't this and men not this. Oh my God, black women have to do better. Men not this. If she got him by herself and she raising a little young black boy, she could tell him what school to go to. She could tell him how to dress. She could tell him what to do. There's no man there to say, no, that's not what young boys do. No. She could do all those things right there and raise that boy to be highly feminine, highly sensitive, and he's going to grow up and be a horrible man, a horrible person. And that's the secret. She said the secret is women today want to raise boys to be the men that they want them to be and not the men that God called them to be.
You're exactly right. Love C got it right. Men provide foresight, helps to balance the woman's bend to live in the moment. You know what? You're exactly right. I always say a woman can't see down the street around the corner, but a man can actually see much farther and give us foresight to what we need to know. Exactly. So listen, I saw something going back and forth over here about bank accounts. Let me tell y'all something, a little something that was funny to me. My parents never dealt with a bank. Even to this day, my dad deals with money orders. The only reason now that he has to bank is because their retirement checks, they make them deposited into a bank. They never dealt with a bank or got bank accounts. I can't even tell you when it actually made it mandatory that your disabilities and your Social Security and your retirement checks would go to the bank. I don't know when that actually happened. But up until then, my people never dealt with the bank. Never dealt. I'm sure they went to a bank until them check cashing places came probably, but they probably went to a bank, cashed their checks on Friday. And some of them, even their boss would cash the checks for them. They wouldn't even go to the bank. Then they would take that money home and the mother would do the same thing. And they would sit at that table and they would go through those bills and divvy out what needed to happen. And nobody laid claims on anything till the bills were actually paid. And that's just how it was done back then. So in other words, it was a one pot situation. Like I said, not everybody trusts banks even to this day. It's just something now that we have to do. But black man, for your grandmother to be so to be so old. She is her mind is very clear, and she has very good ideas on why women no longer want to be in a marriage relationships. But for me, the idea of it is not long lasting. It doesn't have any longevity in it. Just to want to live and not have structure. That's an immature way of thinking. How far can that actually take you? You know,
Yep.
what does that yield for you? You can do that in your 20s, maybe up into mid 30. Then around that time, you're going to have some stability, some structure, some discipline. You're going to have something to take you throughout the remaining of your life. And that's actually what men bring us, that logical part. You know, we can't continue to be going to the club and wanting to be happy and going on trips. And I mean, there's nothing wrong to want to be happy. Forgive me for that. But that's always here and there. It comes a time when you got to grow up and be an adult. Now what? You're going to want and need that structure. You're going to want that stability. That's the only way you can successfully do most things, is to have some kind of stability and structure to doing it. You know, anything you do, you can't even, if you go to work and you work somewhere no more than 60, 70 days, right there at that 90-day mark, you always starting over, you will never learn how to pay your bills. Yep. You'll never learn how to have good credit per se. You will never own a home. You won't. Because you always continually have to start over every time, always over and over and over. That's not how it works. So it's a part of growing up that actually gives you the structure too, black men. And I think that sometimes women, I think somebody said it here in the comment section, they got the older generation only gave them half the story. Now, I don't know what half the story is or why they say that, but for me, marriage was duty to the end, to death, one pot, you know, and that was your husband. That was your, you evolved into being that wife. You have principles. You have a way of life that you lead. You don't involve yourself in a whole lot of things that is not conducive for that marriage. If it's not, nothing supersedes the marriage, but it can't make you and your husband better or your family better. It ain't what you should be doing. And that was just natural.
And you know what's crazy? My uncle was sitting there listening the whole time, didn't say nothing. Right? He's 82 years old, probably. He didn't say nothing. He just sat there, just sitting in the chair. I was like, damn, he ain't gonna say nothing. So I said, oh, what you got to say? He said, I'm gonna tell you that. I say, well, he said, you got any questions for me? I said, I got one more. I said, I'm gonna go back and spread this word now. He said, I hope you do, son. He said, you have the platform to do it. He said, however, I got one more thing to say. He said, y'all had a conversation on the barber shop. He said, from Louisiana, barber shop, about why marriages have fallen to 40, why the number of marriages are falling now, and it's not at 85% like it was back in the day. He said it's because we raised those women and men to be a certain way. And when they got up on their own, they rebelled against it because they didn't want to do the work. He said, so now the result of that is you got a bunch of lazy kids that don't want to be, you got a bunch of lazy women that don't want to build with a man, and you got a bunch of lazy men that don't want to build anything. He said, so you can't blame us. We did our part. He said, but they rebelled against the very thing that worked for us. He said, now, I want you to go back and ask them, the way that they're doing things now, how is it working for them now?
Right.
How's it working for them? Turned against what we taught them. How was it working for them?
Well, there's so many things that is said to be against marriage. It's unbelievable to me, because it's like, hey, it doesn't make sense. We here purposefully. If you're going to continue to give yourself to one another, why aren't you married? Why are you doing, what exactly are we doing? And they've turned against it because now it's become like a money grab. Yep. They can't trust each other. If you don't make enough money, this, you that, if you don't look a certain way, this and that. Now you do want to be attractive to your mate. I do agree with that. But right now it's like, it's a bit extreme. You got to be over 6 feet tall, 6-pack and all that. And you know what though? I don't even know if that's even true. Because I see women with men, and sometimes I have to take a second look, and I'd be like, wait a minute, that ain't what you, and then I have to catch myself. So let me read these super chats before I go on. Let's see here. Big Ant, thank you so much for your $10 super chat. He says, it's not heavy like 3-pound max, and I have them in both my bags. Oh, okay. The book bag is on like 3 pounds. Okay. That's not bad at all.
No, it's not.
Shoot, I could bill you back pretty good all day. How about that? Yep. Clement, thank you so much for your $5 super chat. He says, y'all know that restrictions was only for Black folks. The white folks were able to be married with husbands in the home and still get welfare. Didn't know. Clement never even thought about it, actually. Yep. But I do know that welfare was designed for Caucasians initially, and it was before, it was because the husbands was off at war, and a lot of them did not come home. So that would probably mean you're right in what you're saying. So thank you for that, Clement. Again, thank you for your $10 super chat. My grandparents were married 73 years until my grandmother passed 2 years ago. 91 years, just buried my grandfather earlier this month. Oh, Clement, sorry to hear that. 94 years old. My thoughts on marriage is because of them. Black man, unfiltered. Elders were right. They typically are. And what they said does work. It does work. I don't know why people constantly, Easy early in the comment section said, I thought things were better then. I thought things, I guess I'm assuming he's talking about within marriage. Marriage did work then. I mean, we can't go isolating situations to be like, okay, this was a bad husband, this was a bad wife. Yeah, you're going to have that no matter what. There are people that are good and there are people that are evil. But the situation in itself was better. It was better to be married and have a nuclear family to raise your children. That's just how it was.
And guess what, security boss? Like Drina Haven 916, thank you for being here tonight. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button. Drina says most women will not share, submit, or respect lowering her standards. See, this is where I get foggy, right? Because the standard is the nuclear family, husband, wife, children, God, husband, wife, children. That should be the standard. It shouldn't be the standard of your own. That's selfishness. I'm gonna lower my standards just to have a husband and to have children and to raise them into productive people and productive citizens of this United States of America. No, when it comes to standards, the standard should be that. And I think that's where we're lost as a people, because we think the standard is be selfish, get your own money, damn them kids, damn my husband. I'm gonna go to the sperm bank and raise a feminine man so we can have more feminine men who obey women instead of challenge women.
Okay, so can I add something to that? Because when I hear that, I'm a little bit taken back, because it seems as though the woman is thinking in her mind that she's choosing a husband, when we all know that that's not right. Men ask a woman to marry them. I know, in this current time, women are tripping, getting on their knees and doing all that silly stuff. But the reality of it is a man finds a wife. And that's really how it goes. So for a woman to say, and Drina, I'm not saying you said that, but I'm talking about your comment. So for a woman to say to settle to her standards and whatever, what exactly are your standards as a woman? What exactly are you offering as a virgin? What exactly are you offering as a virgin or as a woman who hasn't been touched but maybe one time or two times? What exactly are you offering as a woman if you're not allowing the man to actually choose you? Exactly. I need to know what do we mean when we say settling? What are they talking about? I mean, he doesn't look as good as she would like him to look, even though he's the one asking for her hand in marriage. He's the one that is honoring her. See, I think women have gotten so out of themselves. Listen, we have to become more humble. I'm not saying you can't find a good looking man to love. I'm not saying that, but he still has to be the one to ask you to marry him. So when you say you selling, what exactly are you selling for? Because I would say you probably might do better on your own if you have that type of attitude, because it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't work like that. That's why
And you know what I told my daughter? We were having a conversation. I told my daughter this. I said, she said, Daddy, man, these girls are out of line. She said, they just one sex further to the next person, to the next person. She said, man, it's crazy out here. And she said, STIs are horrible, Daddy. I said, yep, you're right. She said, man, people just walking through, just giving each other STIs. And I said, well, you know what? It's like this here. A woman says, I'm not going to lower my standards, but you've had sex at 14 and been having sex since 14, you're 30 now. Right? You probably had a body. I heard somebody did a show today where a woman had 2,000 bodies. Was that you, security boss, did the 2,000 bodies?
I'm not talking to her. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my!
What am I talking to a woman with 2,000 bodies for? What can we talk about?
Oh, I saw it today on something. She admitted that over her lifetime, she's 28 and she's had over 2,000 bodies.
Really?
But anyway, Just think about it. I told my daughter, just think about it. You go get a pap smear, right? She said, yeah. I said, imagine if you walked in the doctor's office and that man took that tool out of that woman and told you, lay down, your turn. She'd be like, oh, he's sticking that nasty thing up in me. I said, it's the equivalent of men sleeping with a whole bunch of women. I mean, a women sleeping with a whole bunch of men. If you don't want the doctor to take do the pap smear with the tool and take it out of one woman and put it in you, that's nasty and filthy and bacteria. But you'll let a man raw dog you. And then go to the next man and he raw dog you.
Okay, wait a minute. Black man, that's too, that stinks. Everything you just said stinks. But listen, I want to get back to what Miss Drina is saying. Miss Drina says the standard is the Proverbs 31 woman, which is a virtuous woman. So listen, when you're saying that a woman has classified herself as a virtuous woman, she's classified herself as that. That means that she is a God-fearing woman, and I'm assuming that she would be looking for a God-fearing man. Now, in that instance, I also say to women, Drina, and to all women, definitely preserve yourself. But listen to what I'm saying. In order to be the person that you want, you have to preserve yourself. You have to show up as a virtuous woman. And someone said to me, and I got to study this a little bit more, it's your husband that would tell you that you're virtuous. You can't just claim it and be that. I don't know for sure, but I wonder about that. It's your husband that tells you that you're the prize. It's your husband that will tell you that you're virtuous. But what we all should be working towards is our virtue. And a woman should preserve herself because we all should respond with high moral values and standards. So you are right with that. But to say you're settling, what is it that you would settle for? You can't settle for that. That is non-negotiable. If you don't have me, I would say you're talking about being married. That man would have to have a presentation of a God-fearing man, and he would want to be married. And anything less than that, I guess that would be selling. But why would we be even talking to them? Because y'all are two different people.
Exactly. And you talk about, girl, I'm not going to settle to be with that dude. But your vagina has been like the production line at Amazon warehouse. What are we talking about? It has no value. See, what you're trying to do is you're trying to resell a product that lost value.
Nah, Black man, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I don't care. Listen, I don't. I'm gonna tell you why I don't.
That girl from 2,000 bodies has no value.
That the girl with 2,000 bodies ain't trying to repent for nothing either. I'm talking about when you tell a woman may have had, I don't know how many bodies, I ain't there to count them, but when a woman says she is ready, she's repenting, her heart has changed, she's now a God-fearing woman, she's living for Christ. She no longer wants to have reckless sex with different men. She's waiting for her husband. That's what she needs to do. And I don't really care who comes up and approaches her and say, look, you already had sex 10 times or whatever. Guess what? Maybe, but I'm not having it with you. That woman should be able to do that. And that's okay. Because guess what? Sex outside of marriage is immoral, whether we do it or not. It's still wrong.
I agree. And this segues into what we're talking about tonight. Look at this hole on the thumbnail.
Hole on the thumbnail. Oh,
you see this hole on the thumbnail. You see her man got 400 million.
Right? I don't know.
And she's sleeping with the help. You see what I'm saying? Once you look at that hole right there. Once that hole right, look at her. She crying on this. She ain't crying. My thing is this: when a woman is a very promiscuous woman, it doesn't matter how much money that man got. It doesn't matter what he does for you. If you don't go sit down with a therapist and get some mental help, that body gonna start tweaking again, and you're gonna go out there and desire to be with another man because you haven't healed from your promiscuous ways. Let me give you an example. There's a movie.
Healed from a promiscuous way. She has not built, their relationship may not be built on a foundation of principles. There may not be any structure, like you said, she probably hasn't repented for those things that she did prior and all the immoral acts that she did. And like, I think you told me, Black man, if Steve is gone for 2 and 3 months at a time, she might, and she got, I don't know what the bodyguard looked like or nothing, but she might get a little itch, and that is all the way wrong. And she has to repent for that. And that's a wrong thing completely. And that,
I'm reminded of a movie starring Samuel L. Jackson called Black Snake Moan. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever seen it. Black Snake Moan, there was this girl on the movie who had a sex addiction. She had a boyfriend who went to the military, who was played by Justin Timberlake. And every time he would leave, she would go to the black boy's house. She got so horny, she slept with a little boy. Pulled a little boy in the house and slept with the little boy.
Talk about the little Caucasian girl, he had to put the chains on her and keep her in the house.
To keep her from having sex with all the men.
What little boy did she sleep with?
Remember the little boy came over there because his mama do fruit, and he came over there to get Samuel L. Jackson the fruit, and Samuel L. Jackson had left and went to the store, and the little boy said, I got fruit, and she saw him at the door. She said, come here, come here. He was like, oh, I just came to bring him some fruit, and she pulled his ass in the door.
I remember the movie, but I can't remember that part. But that was he said that girl was possessed. She had what you call the white liver. You remember that? Like, I remember.
And she was giving that thing to anybody that would touch it. And I think that when you don't, if she needed serious therapy. But if you were a woman who's been very promiscuous and she has not at all got any type of help, she's gonna be sitting at the table with you like this. Damn, I love my husband, but his homeboy sexy as shit.
What you're saying is that there has not been any consecration period of cleansing and forgiveness, and none of that stuff has happened. You just playing a game, and you're still operating with that same mindset. Steve is taking care of it for the moment, whoever is taking care of it for the moment, and then you fall right back into your same old. What you call it? 3 or 4 ways. I ain't gonna call them that.
Yeah. Oh, she's a hoe. But let me say this. Like Easy said, we don't even know if those rumors are true. Steve also fired a social media person. It could be a revenge thing. It could be. Hell, we could be going back to the moon. However, I'm telling you right now, something this serious ain't going to just drop out the damn sky. Somebody knows something.
All right. We coming to, let's bring court into order.
Yeah,
all right, here we go, black man. We're gonna put it to the test, y'all. Here it is, relationship court. We're gonna put Steve and wait a minute, we can't play that because that's Steve's rebut. Wait a minute. So we're gonna talk about Mr. Steve and Marjorie. Okay, black man, you seem to have a case. What are you saying? Let's see.
Game or 50 Cent?
What I'm saying is this. It's simple. Your Honor, we're sitting here with a whore.
Wait a minute. Hold on for a minute. Miss Anissa say, SB, they both have come out and denied this. Stop spreading rumors. Black man.
They're supposed to come out and say,
wait a minute. Hold on. Black man. What rumor did I, what rumor did I spread?
They don't want this to be true, security boss.
Wait a minute. Anissa, tell me what rumor did I spread? You about her, I was just responding to what black man said. That if she's doing this, then maybe that is what would be, what spell she's under. So I'm not into spreading rumors, but if that's what's out there, I just read it. So I didn't create anything. I just read it. But we're gonna call it to order. So look, we got right here. Here's one of the jury right here. She says these are just rumors. Stop spreading rumors. So what you got to say for that, black man? Go ahead.
What I want to say is this. At my job, we have something what I have to get on people's ass at my job about is trends. And what a trend is, Your Honor, is that when a person does the same thing over and over again, it becomes a problem. And I think that if you look at the history of said whore, you would see that Marjorie, the whore, her life before Steve, it was a trend. Now look at this. I watched this. Before she got with Steve, she was with a drug dealer. All right. That drug dealer went to jail. That man has come out of prison and told his story. Matter of fact, you guys should go look it up. He did a great
But wait interview. A minute. I object. I'm going to have to object to that. The young lady was only 18 years old when she was with the drug dealer. He was 14 years old, older than her. I would say she was basically coerced and was after the lifestyle only.
Your Honor, I was 12 years old when I got my first piece of vagina, Your Honor, and that does not forbid me from being able to have sex. She was 18 years old. She ran this man's empire. She was Lady Heroin. All right?
I'm not saying it didn't happen. Even in your case, you both were seduced by the lifestyle that these adults put you in. She was only 18. You two was seduced by an older woman. And of course, when things feel good, look good, we tend to go for it. But it wouldn't be the best thing for us because our minds, your mind and Miss Marjorie's mind was not completely formed at the time to make those type of grown-up decisions.
Your Honor, I would like to bring
Next
evidence.
question. So you're being very argumentative. Can you
Your
please
Honor,
go to the next?
Your Honor, I would like to bring some more evidence to what I was saying, Your Honor, before you said that.
No, sir, you're being very
only-
argumentative right now. Can you please just go to the next subject?
Man, I want to be able to express this so the jury can understand what I'm saying, Your Honor. What I'm saying to you is Marjorie at 18 did that. After that guy went to jail, he said in his interview that he went to jail for her too. She's supposed to go to jail, but he took the blunt, he took that for her and went to prison. Now, while he was in prison, did you also know, Your Honor, that she was with his brother? Listen, she was. So you also have to understand this. This is public record. She also was with his brother while he was in prison. So this woman has already showed evidence of whorism. This woman has already showed evidence of being Bathsheba on the top of the house bathing in front of David. She sat right there, Your Honor, and been with his-
I object again. I know you're not getting ready to blame Bathsheba's her beauty on the fact. What did you just? You know, King David was out of order. That was another man's woman.
Yes,
You gonna blame
Your Honor.
her for being beautiful and bathing herself?
But
He
you
was
know
the
what,
one
though?
that was out of
Oh,
control,
but security
not
boss.
Bathsheba.
But security, Your Honor,
I just cannot believe you
Bathsheba,
used that.
Your Honor,
Oh
Your
my
Honor, I
God.
would also like to add into evidence that Bathsheba should have taken a bath in the house instead of on the roof of the house right across the street from David's window. Why would a woman get butt naked in the middle of a night in front of a man's window if she wasn't trying to get bust down because a man went at home? Now, you just said, Your Honor, a few minutes ago that Marjorie may have gotten that itch because Steve wasn't at the house for 4 or 5 months. Do you know back in the wars of the Bible days that some of those men would be gone for 2 to 6 months away from their wives? What if she got that itch and she wanted David to see that big old booty on top of that roof and she wanted David to hit that thing? And David told his servant, go get that girl and bring her here. And he went in there and got that thing. So, and then also he turned her into one after he had her husband took out, he turned her into
Wait a
one
minute, slow down. Let me hear your testimony again. You know, since he was so innocent and watching Miss Bathsheba, because there was no walls back then. They ain't had no inside running water back then. We should know that. So she had to wash where she needed to wash.
On top
I
of the
cannot
roof.
believe you using King David just because he was a king. He just felt like he could just do what he wanted to do. God wasn't pleased with that. Not at all.
Your
And then
Honor,
he's gonna order a hit on her husband because he couldn't have her. Really?
No. Well, Your Honor, the story goes, the reason he had the husband hit off is because he ended up getting Bathsheba pregnant. He wanted the husband to come home and have sex with his wife so he can think the baby was his. It turned into a reality show, but that's not what I'm meaning here. What I'm talking about is Bathsheba had no business sleeping with the kid. I mean, butt naked, bathing, bending over, squatting, and cleaning that thing in front of King David when King David was sitting right there looking out his window like, damn.
I object totally. It wasn't like that. There was no inside running water. King David was out of line. Of course, he had a heart for God, and that's what saved him, but he was wrong. And bottom line, now let's get back to this situation at hand.
Yes, she is a whore.
Let's just get back. Wait a minute. She was only 18 and it was not his brother. It was his cousin. Yes, she was wrong, but she was, like I said, she was seduced by the lifestyle that these men led. Wrong again. I agree. But she was 18 years old. She has to be a cool 60 now, right?
Yeah, well, hold on now. Let's not downplay this woman because Marjorie is a very beautiful Black woman. Let's not negate that. And so that bodyguard, let's talk about it. Steve Harvey, she said this on many occasions that Steve would leave and be gone for months and months. Look at her. She don't look too good on this one. She look like Rosa Parks' mama on this, sister on this one. But on the other pictures I've seen, she looked pretty good. But Your Honor, we have to keep in mind that Steve Harvey, she said this in interviews. You guys need to go watch it. Jury, you need to be able to watch this. I want to add into evidence the interview that she did where she said Steve is gone for 3 to 4 months at a time when he was producing movies, when he went back on the road and did comedy, when he went on the road and did a movie tour for his movies, Why to Think Like a Man, right? And so while he was on those tours, he hired security to protect his wife. Now, he hired a very handsome security team to protect his wife, but there was one man who followed her everywhere in the world she went. When she went to Switzerland with her children, that man was there. When she went to Florida, he was there. When that man went to when she went to Washington, he was there. When she went to the fashion show, he was there. This man is on the plane with her. He's checking on her at the hotel room. You mean to tell me if she got that itch, Your Honor, that you were talking about so eloquently a few minutes ago? You mean to tell me that bodyguard?
You are very argumentative. That man has one tooth in the front of his head and one continuous eyebrow. He is not something attractive. So I'm gonna need you to just to bag up. Marjorie has already said he is the security guard, and that is all he is. Okay, so just stop with that.
When she got
that one tooth in the front of his head and one continuous eyebrow. This is all made up, guys. I have no idea who the security guard is or what he looks like. I don't know.
I want to add to this, Your Honor. 75% of women right now are pregnant by men who have one tooth in the front and a unibrow across their heads. I want to talk about this in the dark. That penis does not have a face; it has a feeling. Let me say this again for the people. In the dark, the penis does not have a face, it has a feeling. So when Marjorie was in there, she said, "Your ugly ass, turn the light off with your ugly ass." And when that ugly man hit her, and he's slinging that thing up in her, because most of the time, ugly men.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough. I'm getting ready to hold you in contempt because you are way off. You have made this woman a whore. You have put her in the bed with a man with one tooth, one unibrow, and you have made it pleasurable, and none of that happened.
Your Honor,
I got proof.
Not only secure the bag for security, listen to me, the only reason he secured the bag with Steve and he secured the hag with her. Listen to me. When you're out in Switzerland in the middle of nowhere and that thing start getting that carpet want to get munched and that thing want to get jabbed.
It's enough. It's enough. Sir, I'm going to have to, if you continue with this line, we're going to have to hold you in contempt. I got proof and here it is. Mr. Boss, can you show the receipts, please?
Do it. We'll find something else to do, because we find, Lord have mercy. Man, I sure wish I could cuss though. You know, listen, sometimes you just wanna respond, but I ain't got no time for rumor and gossip, man. God been good to me. I'm still shining. I appreciate y'all coming. Listen.
Steve Harvey shoots down divorce rumors. He's in North Carolina. He said, I don't know what y'all talking about. We fine. There you go. How about that, sir?
You know what?
I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
I want to say this, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mark.
I want to add this to the evidence, Your Honor. That's what he's supposed to say. No man who got cheated on is going to get up in front of thousands of people and say, you know what? I caught my wife stroking the rod of life and put it in her mouth. He's not going to say that. He's going to.
He wouldn't say anything. He probably wouldn't even be on stage, doing anything either, because he would be broken, because it's a big deal. Remember, divorce is like a death. And if he was headed in that direction, he would not be making these type of appearances in North Carolina, saying these type of things. Hey, look. He wins again. Steve Harvey is still winning. You don't leave Miss Marjorie alone.
Your Honor, he is respectfully, Your Honor, he is the simp emperor. And I'm going to add evidence to this.
Simp whisperer. He's the simp whisperer.
He's a simp whisperer. However, Your Honor, he has a great publicist that says, before this hurts you, get your black ass out there on that stage and you go tell those people there ain't nothing going on between you and Marjorie. We know it is, but you go out there and tell them something different, because we don't want people looking at you and your wife when they could be paying money to see you. Go out there, don't mess your money up. Marjorie at the house, she ain't saying much. We're going to keep her quiet and not the news. And I guarantee you, Your Honor, I want to also add into evidence that you won't see Marjorie in the streets or out in public for the next 3-4 months until this dies down. And if you go back and watch that video of Steve, look at Steve's body language, Your Honor. Can we get a forensic scientist in here that studies body language?
Do we have any bailiffs here? We need to remove this particular person from the courtroom. He is out of control.
Look, okay,
You are
let me
out
tell
of
you this.
sir.
Mom,
You are
this-
out
Your
of
Honor,
control. You have created this whole story about what's going on in their house, and we
Your
have
Honor,
no
Your Honor,
idea.
I would also like to have Bailiff Boss replay the video so we can absolutely see his body language. And then I want you to pull up an old video of him a month ago and look how different he is. He's on stage right now talking like he's forced to say it. And look at his body language. He got his shades on. His body's not moving right. Look at his. Play it again.
I don't know what y'all doing, but find something else to do, because we fine. Lord have mercy. Man, I sure wish I could cuss, though. You know, listen, sometimes you just wanna respond, but I ain't got no time for rumor and gossip, man. God been good to me. I'm still shining. I appreciate y'all coming. Listen.
Did you the man? I'm not
Your
gonna let
Honor,
y'all do it. But listen, I gotta tell
look
you
at
this.
the
I gotta
body
share
language,
that.
Your Honor.
Listen. The man has spoken. He said
Look
we are
at the
fine.
body
This,
language, Your
I'm
Honor.
gonna give I'm gonna give you options. We all said in the beginning that the comment section, they would make the final they're gonna give the final verdict. But I gotta let y'all know something. As of right now, Steve is winning. He is the simp whisper. We have given him that name. I agree with that. But you have choices, black man. Either you can lose today or you can take a voluntary dismissal and we can come back a little later on, when maybe these rumors have, could possibly be founded in some truth, or you can just let it go. How you look now, you can let me know what it is, but actually the comment section has the final word. There are some out there that feel like you're very, very credible with this. I myself think you are a little bit feisty, you're content, you
So what happens
So
when you're a
let me
coward?
tell you something. Let me tell you this. I want to add into evidence before we close this case. I want to say that his body language was off. We've seen Steve in pressure before, and he reacted completely different. This is a man who is trying to seal the leak. And you can look at him and tell he's trying to seal the leak.
So there's some questions before our comment section makes a decision. They want to know a few things. Lost in translation, how you doing tonight? He says, did she even file for divorce?
No. Why would she file for divorce and mess her money up? Your Honor.
Okay, let's just hold on to that one. That one sounds good. Okay. Let's see what else we got. What other questions do we have? Anissa, stop capping for her. Okay, what Anissa say? Christopher, what Anissa said. Listen, that was one. Black man, you have a choice. Do you want to voluntarily dismiss this thing into another time, to a later date, so it can unfold, or what would you like to do? But you got to tell me, your final words are what? Tell me your final words.
Your Honor, my final words on this particular case is this. We have a woman who came into the drug world at 18 years old, and the man went to prison for her. That's what he said. He's alive and did interviews. And then she ended up with his cousin, and then him and her broke up, and she moved on and had kids with both of these men. Both of these men, she has babies by both of them. Look at the trend. And now she gets with Steve Harvey, a man that's making legal money, and she's with a bodyguard more than she's with her husband, who has been gone time and time again. And this man is with her at all times. I want to add into evidence, and I want to say this as my final thought. A penis does not have a face. A penis has a feeling, and she felt that penis up and by her lungs and by next to her kidneys. She liked it. She loved it. And that's why that particular bodyguard was never changed out, never switched out. He never took a vacation, because he was getting that booty. And I close my argument there. Your jury, put a 1 in the chat if you think that I have won this case tonight against your
no, because the whole thing was that they are down with the rumors are that they're getting a divorce. You have not met the burden. If she has not filed for divorce, and he's already said, I got receipts. This is the only thing that we have that is real. What's real came out of Steve Harvey's mouth himself, and he says, we good. He's gonna give all honor and glory to the God and all of that. Didn't you just hear him? That's the only thing that we have that is real. Everything else is
Your Honor,
sir, you keep interrupting me. You being very argumentative.
Your Honor, I just want to add something. When Black people get caught up in something, the first two things that we do is we deny it, and then we put God in it. This is what we do, Your Honor. This is what we do. We'll get up there, and you saw Steve. He had nothing else to say. He couldn't think of nothing else to say. He moved the show on. He said, "Y'all, you know what? They came up with something else, but you know what? God is good." And when you get people,
I gotta tell you something.
Clapping,
Black man, I gotta tell you something.
yes.
Black built like a cock and king. Talking about, no, that's hearsay. He talking about my only evidence I got. He talking about objection. That's hearsay. He was on the stand. Black, you got to work with us. He was on the stand. Didn't you see him? He's the only witness to this, and he testified that they're okay. So that means all the lies, those are rumors about being divorced.
Your Honor,
we've heard that Marjorie was a little, sassy at 18.
Your Honor, I want to add something else, if I may. We also have to, I want you to, this is evidence number 13, photo number 13. This evidence shows that in 2015 on Dr. Phil's show, Steve Harvey's wife, Marjorie Harvey, got on the show and emasculated him by saying that he's the nastiest man that she's ever been with in her life. He does not clean up behind himself. He leaves his plates around the house. He leaves his clothes and
I'm sorry, sir. So I can't let you enter that into evidence. That is definitely hearsay, and you don't have a witness here, or you don't have the tape. So I can't. Please, you cannot enter that. No, I don't have the tape, sir. I can't. You can't do that.
Okay,
you can't tell me what somebody else said. If you don't have the tape with Marjorie saying it herself, we cannot use that in court today. I'm sorry.
Okay, you know what I'll do? Let's take a brief recess until next week, and I will bring the tapes.
Okay, so you're saying you would like to have a voluntary dismissal as of right now?
I want to take a recess until we can provide the tape, the visual evidence of this woman saying her husband is very nasty. He doesn't clean up around the house. He doesn't do anything. And guess what Steve replied to her and said? In that video, he said, "I don't have to clean up a damn thing. I'm doing all the work."
Listen, like I said, unless you want to take a voluntary dismissal and retry this at a later date when you have more visual evidence and receipts, we're going to have to dismiss it. And we're going to give it over to the comment section and hear what they have to say. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, Mr. BMU has not made a complete case. He's coming in with a whole lot of hearsay and a whole lot of, ancestral behavior and things of that nature. None of it carries receipts or information that would support the fact that Miss Marjorie and Mr. Steve are getting a divorce. What we do have, though, from the court is we have receipts that Steve says they are good. He has given God all the glory, and he loves his wife. And he said, y'all need to stop tripping and stay out of his business. We have that. So at this point in time, I need to know.
Stay out of his business, Your Honor, because his wife was getting the business, Your Honor.
Okay, so at this time, I would like for you all put a 1 in the chat if you want to voluntarily dismiss this, and we can bring it back at another time when Mr. BMU would have more evidence to, win the case. Because right now you're losing. The court has won this case, but we're not going to, put a 1 in the chat if you want to voluntarily dismiss it, or you can do a 2 and say he just completely lost. It's up to you guys. 1 or 2. Go ahead, y'all. Let me know what y'all think. Oh, wait a minute, though. Did anybody have any other additional questions that you might want to pose to the, to BMU or to the judge? Either way, we can do this either way you want to do it. But we're not going to just continue to just put out rumors like Anissa said. One of our jurors have already told us we can't just do this. And listen, don't be talking amongst yourselves either. That is just tarnishment. Wouldn't you agree, Black man?
I would not agree. I would like to take a slight recess until next week so I can provide visual.
No, sir. No. You're going to dismiss the case and come back. Dismiss without prejudice, meaning you can come back later on and tell me anything you got, because I'm going to be doing my research too. I got receipts. You don't.
Well, the people in the chat are asking, what are the options? 1 is if I won the case. 2,
no. That's not correct. 1 is we're dismissing it and we're going to let you come back with your evidence. 2 is you lost. 3 is no 3. I don't know where 3 came from. New York King got to tell us what 3 came from, because I don't know. What is 3? But anyway, 1, 2, 1. Listen, 1 means you get to come back and tell us, bring your evidence. 2 is you lost. You not
Your Honor,
winning.
Your Honor, I have one more thing.
One more?
Yes, one more thing. Are we not going to sit here and acknowledge the fact that this woman has a trend that she's also taught her daughter? Her daughter is one of the biggest whores in Hollywood right now. What are we talking about, security boss?
I object. I'm going to have to throw you out. Bailiff.
No,
Can you drop this? He's very argumentative. I'm charging you $100. If you don't retract that last statement, sir, that has nothing to do with what we're doing here now. Just because her daughter is a bit expressive does have nothing to do with her. Nothing. How could you do that? Black man.
I feel like I've won this case, and I feel like there is pure prejudice against my evidence.
That last evidence will get you thrown out of here, sir. That was raggedy. How you gonna blame her daughter?
I'm going to request a different judge because you are biased, and you need to be disbarred from your judge because you are biased towards Steve Harvey only because he said, "Ain't God good?" You are wrong, and you need to be disbarred from your comments.
Sir, I tried many times to talk to you and be reasonable and have some logic with you. You have brought in the brother that didn't exist. You have brought in the daughter that don't matter. You have brought in the drug dealer who went to jail. And all those people, none of that matters. What's being brought and heard in front of us today is, did Marjorie file for divorce? Is Steve and Marjorie's nuptials, is it over with? Are they done with each other? And you have not presented a case that would say that this is exactly what's happening. You have called her all types of whores. You have said her daughter's a whore. You have said that she loves to, the drug dealer lifestyle, I suppose. And none of this is founded information. She has had many years of consecration where she could have been cleansed and now a new woman and wife. Matter of fact, Steve Harvey himself, you know what? I'm not going to say anything else. I'm going to bring more receipts. That's what I'm going to do.
You know what? This is unfair.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But next week, I will have video proof of this, and we're going to put this case to bed next week when I prove that Marjorie Harvey and her daughter are the whores of Babylon. Until next week. You see the people in the chat, they know I won. Somebody said it's a mission.
They're actually saying, keep it up, keep the facts straight, black man. That's what they're telling you. They're saying you're wrong. They said you're wrong.
Said, BM, you hold the judge in contempt, 30 days in jail. See, that I like you.
Who would they do that at, black? Y'all don't lost y'all mind? What? Cleansed and renewed. There you go, Christopher. Cleansed and renewed. Look at that. So guess what, guys? I hope y'all liked the first version of Relationship Court. It was a mess, but it was fun. So Guess what? You all can bring some real stuff and we can have some real issues. We have no idea what Steve and Marjorie is doing. And guess what? SB don't even care. I don't know if black men do or not, but I don't.
No, I don't.
I don't want anybody to get divorced. Y'all already know that. So I hope the rumors are just that. I hope that they'll go away soon. I think it was a bunch of confusion and it could be just a marital spat, but hopefully they get through it and I'm good with that. But I got something I want to share with y'all, and I need y'all to listen real close.
It's amazing. It's just such a blessing to have like my own best friend, that I get to cuddle with. You know what I'm saying? Like last night was not a formal date night at all. We just took advantage of the fact that PJ was with her dad, and we just had drinks. And we just sat on our downstairs on our patio. We didn't even turn the TV on. We didn't turn on music. It was just he and I just sitting down there chatting, talking. I think we cried about something. I don't know. Maybe that was the alcohol, but I don't know. It's just so good, y'all. Find y'all partner. Keep y'all standards high, okay? And if it's someone that's showing red flags, just leave. Okay, period. I don't care. It could be the smallest red flag. You are not meant to fix them. Walk away. Because when I tell you, My husband didn't have red flags. He had red flags to other people, but to me, I knew they were not red flags for me. So if he had red flags that were red flags for me, I would have walked away. And when I tell you, it's just so wonderful, y'all.
So let me let y'all play that one more time because it didn't start at the very beginning. Y'all got to hear the essence of her very first words, because this is what I wish for everybody that wants this. Go ahead.
Married life is amazing. It's just such a blessing to have like my own best friend, that I get to cuddle with.
That's what I wanted to say, y'all. Married life is amazing. It's so good to have someone just so you can cuddle with them and they're your own. This is Miss Portia, if y'all didn't recognize her. Go ahead, Black Man. Sorry.
Yeah, Portia. I just want to shout out to her for saying the first part. Portia does have this hair in her head right now, which is, that's her choice.
Did you just?
But I will say that she did not get any BBLs and she did not get any breast jobs done. That woman has a body like a goddess.
That is not true what you're saying right now. She did have all that done.
She did. You lying to me?
I don't know about the bottom part, the L part, the lift part, but she had the boob part.
Oh, okay. Well, I stand corrected. However,
but she's still pretty. It's okay to be beautiful.
Now, this is what I said. This is what I said earlier. Did you hear what she said? A partner that you can cuddle with and we cry together. What did I say an hour ago? I said women want men who are more like them and not who God created them to be.
Black Man, you just went too far. This woman is
Mr. Boss. Well, give me a sound effect if you're gonna sit up tonight and watch a movie with Security Boss and cry.
No. They didn't cry at no movie. She said the TV didn't even come on.
Oh yeah, they were crying.
They were talking to each other and they were having a very vulnerable moment. What I was trying to do with Miss Portia is just let you know that modern women, which she is, can definitely be converted into being a wife. That's all.
Well, her last husband was gay.
Hey, was he really gay?
Yeah, everybody know Cardell Stewart was aisle 5 at Walmart. Everybody knew he was aisle 5 at Walmart. And for the people watching, if you don't know what aisle 5 at Walmart is, that's where all the sugar is and all the sweet stuff. Everybody knew that he was aisle 5 at Walmart. His college teammates, his NFL teammates, they knew.
Black Man, Cardell was.
Oh yeah, man. Aisle 5 at Walmart. Sweet.
Black Man, how do you know all these things?
It's the sweet one. Because a lot of his college players said it. She even knew it. Go back and watch those videos of her saying that she think that he was sweet. Even her friends were telling her, hey, man, we think Cardell kind of,
Oh my.
And she's like, nah, he's just in touch with his feminine side. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And I think that's why they're not married to this day. I think they're not married to this day.
Who not married? Oh, him, Cardell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, her and Cardell got a divorce.
No, but she married this new guy, this African guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know his name because I don't watch the Housewives. Black David's brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Number one.
Wow.
But yeah, I just think that, like I said, a beautiful girl. Hopefully everything works out with her. But the way she was talking like she was talking like it was, if you took the married part out, I'm just gonna put this out there. If you took the married, we need to take this into the courtroom. If you took the married part out and she didn't say that part, you would think she was talking about a homegirl. Put a 1 in the chat if you know I'm right.
No, she said we did not turn the TV on. It was we got no, I hope not. She said we laid there and cuddled. You don't be laying and cuddling with your homegirl. Uh-oh.
Excuse me? Did you just not see Mocha Fest? Did you see the Mocha Fest?
No, I closed my eyes and stuff.
All those carpet munchers out there with the chlorine under their jaws, eating themselves away.
I'm not gonna even ask you what that means. I'm not, because you're not getting ready to blow my head up. No. Black Man, she said she laid down. What do these ones represent? What do these ones represent?
Those ones represent the fact that I am right. That if you took the married part out of it, it will sound like she was talking about her homegirl. So
wait a minute. Listen, Black Man, you don't be cuddling with your homegirls, but I see what you're saying. Today's time, they might be munching. I don't know. That's gross.
You know, Black women get together when they going through and they sit on the couch and eat a bucket of ice cream together, fall asleep on each other, laying all up on each other, stopping.
No.
You know, women are like that. You know.
No, I don't.
Oh yes.
I don't get caught like
In the
that.
chat if you know women who cuddle up with each other.
I don't do that. I don't know women like that. You don't cuddle up with nobody but your man, your husband, or your man to be, whatever the situation is. You don't be munching. No, man, please. But black men.
Security boss, see, you're a 1965 Shelby GT Mustang.
I wasn't even born then.
We're out here dealing with
2023 Volkswagens.
Yeah, we did it with 1998 Ford Focus with the plastic bumper. They're not made the same no more.
They are not made the same. Let's do these super chats. Black man, do you want someone to come up and just tell us how they feel about our relationship court, or just to add anything to the comment, to the tonight's show? Because there were a couple of people in here who said they had so many questions. I would love to answer or try to answer your questions. And for real.
Yeah, before we get
for real. Not that crazy stuff black men be doing. Y'all got to excuse my partner over there.
Yeah,
but anyway, Limit Great, thank you so much for your $2 super chat. It's all about the battle between Satan and God. It's you know what, but Clement, we done already won. We already won. So it's really, battle. We just got to watch that thing play out.
Easy money. I'm gonna slap him virtually. He said, wait, so husbands aren't supposed to cuddle with their wife? No, you missed the whole point. It went right over that big old forehead of yours. I'm telling you, Easy Money, that if you would have took the married part out of the beginning, and she said, I'm not talking about the color part. I'm talking about, oh my God, we sat and we talked about things and we cried together. Like, oh, no, homegirl, cool. That's what you would have thought. And look at all the ones in the chat. All the men in the chat said one. Put a one in the chat if you didn't hear that part, she was talking about a homegirl.
But it was too much. If I gotta take out 3 parts, that means it's a totally different scenario. It's either is what it is or it isn't. Okay. So I'm gonna need you to stop throwing our people away.
Are you okay with Mr. Boss coming to you and saying, oh, you know what, baby, you look real good with them braids and you look so good in your nice little jacket tonight, and I just want you to know that you are baby.
Why is he going to be crying? Why is he going to be crying? What?
My point exactly. Why?
That's not what she said, black man.
Why? She said we was down there talking and crying. What you crying for?
She said we was talking, and I think one time we may have cried. It might have been the liquor. They was getting drunk together. I wouldn't do that either, but how about this?
I know that's right.
Marcus Costello, thank you so much for your $2.99 super chat. Don't forget, current countries still practice slavery.
You're absolutely correct.
Okay, let's go back because I've totally forgot. Oh, I know what the men not coming home. I totally forgot what that comment was for. All right. So Clement, thank you again for your $5 super chats. I've always asked women, what can they give me, what they haven't given to another man before me? SB, I'm still waiting for an answer.
You're going to never get it.
No, listen, if a woman has never been married, she can definitely give you something that she has never given another man. She could give you honesty. She can give you respect, and she can give you submission that will take you to death. She could be your wife. And if she's never experienced that with another man, that could be something that she does with you. I'm talking about for real. I'm not talking about play. I'm mad at you now, I'm walking out. I'm talking about total submission, total respect.
I have an uncle who is very trifling. He's horrible. I love him, but he's horrible. And one thing he said to me when I was younger, he said, when you with your woman and she doing all that moaning in your ear and enjoying herself with you, just know 8 other niggas taught her that.
Oh my God, y'all are pathetic right now. That's not anyway.
That's what he said.
Sir Hale. Sir Hale gave us a super chat. Sir Hale, say hey to Sir Hale. Hey, Sir Hale. Thank you so much for your support. He says, SB Live and BMU, respect to peace. Shout out, boss. Thank you. Hey, Hink in the basement. Hink says, good evening, SB and BMU. Thank you so much. Clement says, you.
Restaurant.
Clement say what? Wait a minute. Thank you, $2. Thank you for your $2 super check, Clement. He says, you itching? You itching?
Yeah, you itching. Come to me. Get your
scratch my him. Wait a minute. Black man, where did that go to? You itching? Oh, we said that if
you said Marjorie had an itch.
You made a mockery of Bathsheba. That was you.
Syphilis.
Oh my God. Wait a minute, they're not near Texas, are they? Do they live in Texas?
No, they be here. Her and the bodyguard be everywhere. I don't know if they came here or not.
Oh my God. Hank say, shout out to the Reform Men 304s. There you go, Hank. Hank say, shout out to them. Thank you, Hank. They need some encouragement. Marcus, again, thank you for your $2 super chat. He said, this is for Marjorie's itchy doc appointment. Listen, y'all, Marjorie is not itching. Black man, why did you say that?
You said that. You said
I said Marjorie was itching?
Yeah, you said when she get that itch.
Oh. Not okay, y'all. I thought you meant itching. Oh, I meant itch as in wanting, not itch as in syphilis.
Oh no. I thought people took it wrong, Security Boss. You gotta be more specific.
God, y'all are unbelievable. I wasn't talking about virgins. Y'all are out. Y'all way out. I don't know what Black man, you have really created something today. This is awful.
I just want to say this though. Any man out there that's dating a woman, I know they say, a woman can be reformed, hoe, and all this other stuff. But if you go in her bathroom and you see a dish with a battery on it, you need to leave. You need to leave. A dish
with a battery on it? Black man, where are you coming up with this stuff?
No, I'm saying because a battery, that means it's not cleaning properly. It needs like a little engine or something to keep the water going in and out, to keep it clean. And if you go in her bathroom and she got a dish with a battery on it, leave, run. Jump.
Okay, so listen, Black man, nobody's gonna trust us for relationship advice if you continue on with these crazy things that you're coming up with. So you gotta put a disclaimer out there and let everybody know you just kidding. None of this stuff is real that you said about Marjorie.
I'm just kidding sometimes, but today I'm being for real. Marjorie's a hoe, and if you go in the bathroom and you find a dish with a battery on it, you just tell her you got to go to the store and never come back.
Okay, so guys, listen, I'm going to have to be the grown up in the room. These things, he is unfiltered. You're right. These things are not true about Marjorie and Steve. Steve has come out and said none of it's true. He's giving God all the glory, and that is what is important. What'd you say?
Black Bill, look.
Black, you always would go the opposite way. Black, we have to deal with facts.
I appreciate you, Black Bill. Anybody else? Look, put a 1 in the chat. If you got my back.
How you gonna believe that he made up all that stuff?
If you got my back, put a 1 in the chat. If you got my back, watch this, Security Ball. Look at all the support that I got. Look at this.
Miss Y'all Too Sensitive say pure ignorance.
Hey, Miss Y'all Too Sensitive. Don't you do that to me.
Did you talk about me? Y'all talk about me.
Did you talk about you?
Y'all talk about me.
Look. Look at the ones. Look at the ones.
No. Section 8. You cannot follow. He made that stuff up, Jimmy.
Look at all the ones. CBN put 13 of them. Look at Jimmy HTV.
Okay, so look, y'all talk about women making up stories and gossiping and talking about stuff all the time. Look at what y'all doing. Y'all have made up all these No, she didn't give you a half.
She said, "You may be right next week." You know what? Look at Life of Cat. Look at Life of Cat. Come on,
okay, y'all.
I love y'all. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for your support and me coming in this courtroom and just doing what I need to do. Thank you so much.
He came in here and he made up stories, y'all. Y'all gonna? I mean, this is why the black man going to prison right here.
Oh no!
This is why. Why. Because we get to make up all types of stories and just throw them away, and your people believe it.
Are you going to seriously sit here and say Marjorie's not a whore? That's my point exactly.
I ain't hear you. What you say?
Are you going to sit here and say Marjorie is not a lady of the evening?
Oh, he said, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about y'all. My ignorant partner. Black Miss CC. Miss Y'all says you.
Miss Y'all, I love you too. Even though you don't. I love you too, Miss Y'all. But next week you'll be on my side. I'm gonna be looking for you in the chat. Make sure y'all come back next week because I'm gonna be looking for y'all in the chat. I'm gonna be looking
right
for
now, Black man. Right, it is time for us to go. But right now, Black man, I really feel like, and if you all ladies in the chat, because we already know what these men are thinking, ladies. If y'all think that Black man owes Steve and Marjorie Harvey an apology right now, go ahead and let them know. Put a 1 in the chat for the apology. Yeah.
Look what Section 8 said. Put that up on the screen, bailiff boss. Bailiff boss.
A state attorney in Texas. See, Gina says, 1, you owe them an apology. Look, you the accuser. You got to prove it. He hasn't. Mama Care, you know he ain't approved nothing. Big Bad Boy, what's up? He ain't approved nothing. You ain't proved nothing. You just
BMU,
made up a
said
whole
Samia. She said
BMU
BMU
don't
owes them nothing.
You don't, BMU. You wrong. You prove nothing. I'm the one with the receipts. So guess what? Tell them what we're doing tomorrow.
Yes, guys, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please go to Black Man Unfiltered Network on YouTube and subscribe. I am looking forward to seeing you guys on tomorrow night as we have a great discussion on tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, we are going to be discussing, what are we talking about tomorrow? Let me think. Domestic violence against men. And nobody cares. That's on tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to talk about all these men who are being deleted by women and who are getting their asses beat by women. If you have not subscribed, go over to the channel right now after this show and subscribe. And we'll see you guys tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Mama Kara said it ain't over. We have an extension. Mama Kara, you are exactly right. He voluntarily dismissed it for now. He's going to come back with some more proof because today he had nothing but rumors and he's hearsay.
I will be.
So we're going to see what happens with Marjorie and Steve. I'm hoping they stay together and continue to love each other. And for now, guys, y'all have been an awesome comment section.
Absolutely.
And yours, I mean, y'all got it down pat. Y'all understand the game. But in the future, we're going to have some real situations, and we are going to be giving real advice, and we're not going to be making up anything. So thank you all for joining us tonight, and hopefully we'll see you soon. And we loved it. And until then, peace. Make sure you join Black Men Unfiltered tomorrow at 9:30 Central Time, I believe. 8:30 Central Time. Make sure you join him. Thank you very much, and y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.
You and me was in love. Think about what your crew think. I know your moms probably think I'm a bastard. Your pops probably want to beat my death and take a in my casket. But I got sick of fighting, bickering, fussing over nothing, cussing. Instead of watching the death of discussions that we once had, days that we once spent in the backseat of our cars, reading poets at sunset. It's funny how love can fall out the foreground, get pushed into the back of your mind. We used to twist his spliff and laugh and relax. Are you crying? And I'm trying to find the reason, so I ask, does forever ever happen, or is it always fade to black? I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul on the road. I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul on